and the satchel still gets shot down. Let's take another look. All right, there's the satchel, and booyah! Good night.
PvP in Firefall is all about shooting somebody in the face.
Combat in Firefall feels sort of like the good old days, back when games took longer to kill each other, there were resources on the maps that mattered, the speed was a little bit higher, and I had to be more tactical. Games like, for example, Quake.
I also like to liken Firefall to Team Fortress 2 a little bit. The way that you can mix up your different classes, have a team composition that is different according to the different situation. I also really like to play a lot of Halo. I think that there's some comparison to be made because of the verticality that the jump jets lend to the game, except we're a lot faster than Halo. So I think that blends some of my most favorite things of other PvP games.
Well, at its core, Firefall is a shooter. And so in PvP, that's where that experience really comes to light.
We've worked really hard on making our PvP easy to learn and difficult to master so that we can appeal to all sorts of skill levels and really reward those people who are willing to put in the time to get really good.
You do not have to play PvP in Firefall. There's a large open world, there's a lot of dynamic content, on-demand player content, plenty of things to do. However, that is a lot of work, and players put a lot into their battle frames, and they can bring them to PvP where they really shine.
I think that the game is made in such a way that people will want to play the PvP element. It's so much fun, and like Justin just said, it really gives you an opportunity to take advantage of all the hard work you put into the open world.
But we also have to make sure that it remains competitive and balanced.
Red 5 is really special and excites me a lot in the fact that we are putting some attention into our esports features before the game is even fully out and live, which is amazing. You don't see that a lot in the game industry. We've already provided an esports toolkit which provides a broadcast mode and an observer mode, which makes the game so much fun to watch, which is really a key thing to esports. You want to be able to see your elite players playing at that elite level and have everybody be able to watch it and appreciate it.
And as we've seen in a lot of other games, the esports players, all their skills sort of trickle down, whether it's through streams or YouTube videos or whatever. It gives the lower skilled players a way to practice, a way to learn, and to elevate themselves.
In the future, we're looking forward to definitely putting some objective-based modes into our PvP experience. We think that'll help it with the esports. We know that
I'm James McCauley. I'm the Vice President of Development here at Red 5 Studios and unofficially the team cheerleader. I've been here since the beginning days, early 2006, and it's been an incredible journey to see the company grow and expand, and we're now at the point where we're nearing launch for Firefall. So when we announced Firefall, we also announced a very different development process for us, and it was one where we very much wanted to include and incorporate our community into the development of Firefall. A lot of gamers have asked us how they could support us. I think they've had so much fun that they want to support us, they want to support Firefall. They've been asking for months and months how they can do so, and now is finally an opportunity for them to do that. And we thought, what better way than to offer a Founders Pack that allows you to buy a little piece of history, to become a founding member, to have that name next to your character for life, to receive special goodies in-game, and to begin that ongoing relationship with Red 5 and with Firefall. Gamers should buy Founders Packages for multiple reasons. One, it's showing your support to Red 5 and for Firefall, and it's giving yourself an opportunity to really jump in and to contribute to the future of this game and this company. Well, so we started with one package. We wanted to give players an opportunity to support Red 5 and Firefall, but we also didn't want to exclude anyone. We wanted to give everyone an opportunity to jump in the water and to join us on this journey, and we wanted to open it up. At each increased tier, we provide a whole bunch of new stuff for you. If you purchase any of the 3 levels of Founder Packages, you will receive priority beta queuing. This means as we regularly send out new beta invites and try to grow the beta and invite new players to join us, you'll be at the front of the line. So if you're eager to get in and play Firefall, this is a great way for you to jump in front of the line and to join us in beta. At the base level of the Ensign, we offer you a whole bunch of in-game currency. We give you a special decal and founding member title. We also give you a Tiki mask because, you know, we're all about the Tiki theme, and we thought we'd share a very personal thing. This is not a Firefall theme, it's a Red 5 theme. And so you'll get a Tiki mask that you can actually equip on your character in-game and show off that you're a founding member. We also offer you a permanent 5% XP boost at Ensign, which we think is pretty cool. It's a way for us to say thanks for your support and to give you something cool for the lifetime of your character and your account. Moving on to the Lieutenant, we increase the amount of in-game currency you get. We have a special Lieutenant decal that will show up in-game. You can place it on your battle frame and look super cool. You can also sport it.
This is Accord Control. We are prepped for Space Fold. Initiate on Admiral's mark.
Initiating Space Fold on Admiral Nostromo's mark. 3, 2, 1.
Arclight, this is Accord Control. Do you copy? Arclight, are you there? Arclight, do you copy?
This is Nostromo. The jump failed. We're still in Earth orbit, but losing altitude rapidly.
Stand by, Arclight. We're scrambling rescue shuttles now. Just hold
There's
tight.
no time. Dr. Bathsheba reports we've lost all power to the orbital drive. I need you to project the Arclight's impact site. Begin ground evacuations and scramble disaster teams.
I can confirm that, Accord Control. Loss of orbit is irreversible. I'm ejecting the star chamber. It is critical that you recover it immediately.
Understood. Admiral, initial projections indicate a South Atlantic crash zone.
Control, divert the 3rd Fleet to the South Atlantic.
Yes, sir.
Bathsheba, can we re-trigger the arc drives?
No, there's some kind of external interference that's locking them up. I can try diverting power from weapons to the orbital thrusters. It'll give us a little control.
Do it. Maybe we can ditch in the Atlantic.
Sir, calculations are firming up. Looks to be Fortaleza, Brazil. Alerting authorities there. The casualties in the blast zone look to be close to 100%.
What? That can't be.
Orestes, is Amelia still living?
Bathsheba, get me those thrusters, now!
We've got a 5-second burn left at maximum power. That should get us clear of Fortaleza.
Negative, Arclight. If you ignite that burn, Sin is projecting a 95% chance you hit Rio.
Ready the burn. Give me manual control.
Sir, if you do that, 1.2 million people will die.
I'm well aware of that. Now give me control.
Orestes, you have full control.
Initiating burn in 5,
Arclight, abort.
4, 3,
Please, don't do this.
2.
why the satchel still gets shot down. Let's take another look. All right, there's the satchel, and booyah! Good night.
PvP in Firefall is all about shooting somebody in the face.
Combat in Firefall feels sort of like the good old days, back when games took longer to kill each other, there were resources on the maps that mattered, the speed was a little bit higher, and I had to be more tactical. Games like, for example, Quake.
I also like to liken Firefall to Team Fortress 2 a little bit. The way that you can mix up your different classes, have a team composition that is different according to the different situation. I also really like to play a lot of Halo. I think that there's some comparison to be made because of the verticality that the jump jets lend to the game, except we're a lot faster than Halo. So I think that blends some of my most favorite things of other PvP games.
Well, at its core, Firefall is a shooter. And so in PvP, that's where that experience really comes to light.
We've worked really hard on making our PvP easy to learn and difficult to master so that we can appeal to all sorts of skill levels and really reward those people who are willing to put in the time to get really good.
You do not have to play PvP in Firefall. There's a large open world, there's a lot of dynamic content, on-demand player content, plenty of things to do. However, that is a lot of work, and players put a lot into their battle frames, and they can bring them to PvP where they really shine.
I think that the game is made in such a way that people will want to play the PvP element. It's so much fun, and like Justin just said, it really gives you an opportunity to take advantage of all the hard work you put into the open world.
But we also have to make sure that it remains competitive and balanced.
Red 5 is really special and excites me a lot in the fact that we are putting some attention into our esports features before the game is even fully out and live, which is amazing. You don't see that a lot in the game industry. We've already provided an esports toolkit which provides a broadcast mode and an observer mode, which makes the game so much fun to watch, which is really a key thing to esports. You want to be able to see your elite players playing at that elite level and have everybody be able to watch it and appreciate it.
And as we've seen in a lot of other games, the esports players, all their skills sort of trickle down, whether it's through streams or YouTube videos or whatever. It gives the lower skilled players a way to practice, a way to learn, and to elevate themselves.
In the future, we're looking forward to definitely putting some objective-based modes into our PvP experience. We think that'll help it with the esports. We know that
Just giving you guys a heads up, we will be starting shortly. Thanks for hanging in there.
I'm James McCauley. I'm the Vice President of Development here at Red 5 Studios and unofficially the team cheerleader. I've been here since the beginning days, early 2006, and it's been an incredible journey to see the company grow and expand, and we're now at the point where we're nearing launch for Firefall. So when we announced Firefall, we also announced a very different development process for us, and it was one where we very much wanted to include and incorporate our community into the development of Firefall. A lot of gamers have asked us how they could support us. I think they've had so much fun that they want to support us, they want to support Firefall. They've been asking for months and months how they can do so, and now is finally an opportunity for them to do that. And we thought, what better way than to offer a Founders Pack that allows you to buy a little piece of history, to become a founding member, to have that name next to your character for life, to receive special goodies in-game, and to begin that ongoing relationship with Red 5 and with Firefall. Gamers should buy Founders Packages for multiple reasons. One, it's showing your support to Red 5 and for Firefall, and it's giving yourself an opportunity to really jump in and to contribute to the future of this game and this company. Well, so we started with one package. We wanted to give players an opportunity to support Red 5 and Firefall, but we also didn't want to exclude anyone. We wanted to give everyone an opportunity to jump in the water and to join us on this journey, and we wanted to open it up. At each increased tier, we provide a whole bunch of new stuff for you. If you purchase any of the 3 levels of Founder Packages, you will receive priority beta queuing. This means as we regularly send out new beta invites and try to grow the beta and invite new players to join us, you'll be at the front of the line. So if you're eager to get in and play Firefall, this is a great way for you to jump in front of the line and to join us in beta. At the base level of the Ensign, we offer you a whole bunch of in-game currency. We give you a special decal and founding member title. We also give you a Tiki mask because, you know, we're all about the Tiki theme, and we thought we'd share a very personal thing. This is not a Firefall theme, it's a Red 5 theme. And so you'll get a Tiki mask that you can actually equip on your character in-game and show off that you're a founding member. We also offer you a permanent 5% XP boost at Ensign, which we think is pretty cool. It's a way for us to say thanks for your support and to give you something cool for the lifetime of your character and your account. Moving on to the Lieutenant, we increase the amount of in-game currency you get. We have a special Lieutenant decal that will show up in-game. You can place it on your battle frame and look super cool. You can also sport it.
Hello everyone, I am Nero and I'm finally glad to be getting this tournament started. This is the Vex Gaming Legends Tournament. I am Nero and I am joined by the Sam Basti from Limelight Esports. Sam, how are you doing this fine Saturday?
I am doing great. I finally got a chance to watch some more competitive matches and do some more casting.
Yeah, pretty excited. I'm sorry for the little bit late start. We did have a few team difficulties running up, so we will be giving you guys the updated bracket on stream so you guys can see that and see what's happening today. We have a few changes that we'll be going over shortly, but first I wanted to talk about Vex Gaming and what this tournament is. This is the first Firefall tournament of 2013. Of course, Firefall has planned a $1 million season for 2013, and today is just to introduce you guys and gals, you know, to see, you know, what is Firefall, what's going on, what is this game if you haven't watched it before, you know, how do people play TDM on a higher level, all these sorts of things is, you know, bringing out the community, showing a little bit more of the competitive side, and many thanks to Vex Gaming. And in fact, Vex Gaming will be in our first match. Hellraiser is the person that you need to thank for putting this all together. We have our round robin today to determine their seeding, and then tomorrow at the same time, that is 3 p.m. EST, we have the double elimination tournament. And so the seeding from today's round robin will go into tomorrow. So without ado, let's talk a bit about Vex. Vex Gaming is a community made to have fun, and have fun the way you want to have fun, right? There's, you know, it's a little bit more of a mature place, you know, it's not like some elite gaming clan, right? There's a lot of different types of gamers that, you know, they just want a place to play with other people, have fun, you know, have a team speak to go into. So, you know, if you're a casual, or hey, you know, you want to play in a competitive tournament, you know, Vex is there for you, and they're here having this tournament to get their name out and to really, you know, get a feel for the start of 2013, or each Firefall team is, you know, where they are. That's the purpose of the round robin today, is to get a feel for where each team stands currently right now. So Vex is very proud to be part of the forefront of the Firefall community, and they're going to be trying to, you know, enhance that image by running Firefall tournaments. Today is the first one of those. There are a lot more planned. Hopefully we'll have like a ladder and ranking system later. And so this is the first one. Remember, this is a community tournament. It's not a Red 5 tournament. It's the community coming together on a Saturday, being like, hey, you know what? We need to have this place where teams can come and play and figure out what's going on. You know, take a look at the new meta changes, take a look at how Tier 2 is, see what strategies are good, which aren't, see new and up and coming players. It's really, you know, sort of a spotlight and a stage for people to come in. So if you want to check out Vex, you can check out vexgaming.com. I believe all the information on this tournament is at vexgaming.com/compete, as you see in the image that is currently up. And many thanks to Bloody Kulati, who is our Battlefield correspondent. He did some interviews with some of the players on the teams, so we'll have those for you at around halftime and during some intermissions. And I will be hosting, streaming, cameraing, and play-by-playing, and Sam Basti is going to be our analysis for today. So thanks, Sam, for coming in, and many thanks again to Vex Gaming for putting up this tournament, and of course thanks for the viewers for tuning in. I hope it is a enjoyable experience for you, and that you'll come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST for the double elimination bracket, as the teams do compete for a prize. I believe it's around 1,000 in prizes. Most of it is Steam games, but hey, if you know, if a community like Vex is willing to put that up, you know, fantastic, and many thanks for having the stage and, you know, some bucks to throw behind it. So without ado, I'm going to show you guys the bracket. This is what's going to be done today. It is a round-robin format. We have 6 teams, and each team is going to be playing each other team, and that will determine their ranking. So let's go ahead and shift over there. Here we go. We have our rough bracket today. This is for the Legends tournament, as you see up here. Hopefully it is live now. It will be live shortly. So in round 1, we're going to be broadcasting one match from each of these. So in round 1, we have PV Esports, we have Brzezikiewicz, I think. I practiced a little bit. I'm just going to call them BRZ. They are now Team BRZ, as many thanks to our Polish friends for not subjugating us to that name. Dark Hour and Get Vexed, which is the match we will be broadcasting. Get Vexed, of course, host of this tournament. A lot of good players on their team. We'll be going over their player cards in just a little bit. And Dark Hour, which has done very well in previous tournaments. It should be a very good match. The other 2 teams making up round 1 are The Herd, a My Little Pony based group in Firefall, and they've been pretty active, and they've branched out to other games as well in their small community. And Hubris, who you might know as Team ABC. They have done extremely well in other tournaments. Their team makeup, when we get to them on their player card, you will see they are quite good. So without further ado, Sam, I'm going to take us to the player card, and we'll talk a little bit about what we can expect from Dark Hour versus Vexed.
This is actually a match I'm really looking forward to. I actually talked to Hellraiser earlier this week, and Dark Hour versus Vex Gaming is actually a match that was supposed to happen in a way during the Bronodon Brawl 2, but it never did. So those 2 teams are very close. There's a little bit of a rivalry going on between them. And I know at the very least Vex Gaming is really looking forward to having this match and finally settling this dispute.
Yeah, and let's take a look at their team card, excuse me, right here. You can check out Dark Hour at darkhourgaming.com. Their captain for today is going to be T2. And of course, all our matches today are in Tier 2, no limits. So we are going to be seeing a lot of interesting happenings here. One thing to note, if you've been playing Firefall or been in and out of Firefall, the restraint system in this patch is gone. PvP is getting an entire overhaul. So, you know, let this not be indicative of things of the future. It's actually, I think, kind of fun. You have battle frames like the Dreadnought, which is sort of the heavy, tough, you know, utility support, not dying, but also good DPS frame. And with the crafted abilities, like their abilities like Thunderdome now have such a great durability and duration. You're seeing people, you know, use Teleport Shot due to like the lower cooldown and high velocity. It's actually usable. It's going to be really exciting, I think, to see some people actually be playing Dreadnought. We've seen a drought of Dreadnoughts recently just because they haven't been as effective in their role before. But now with crafting, it seems like the role is much more heavily defined, and that's one of the things I'm excited to go into. Let's go ahead and run down the member list. T2 is their captain. T2 probably going to be playing Recon and Assault. And the members of Dark Hour Gaming: Famine, very good biotech; Stoyish, Stardown; Duakri, I should have read that earlier; Zweihandler, who is a good assault; Warped, probably be playing Recluse Biotech today. He's got a lot of cute things like using evac and then creeping death shots straight at your spawn at the start of the match. Pretty annoying. And Vonto, another good player. The team was created by T2 with players that are well known in their own right. I gotta agree with that. They placed third in the last brawl, but really it was a really close third. They put up some very good matches, I believe against Triple Threat and ABC, and really, you know, their placement as third does not really reflect the amount of skill and team performance that they have.
These guys actually also had some of the closest matches of the Limelight Esports tournament. Really, their match against Triple Threat, although it didn't show on the scoreboard, was one of the closest we've seen. A lot of the slow, meticulous PvP that we were seeing happening in that match. So really, we can look forward to them to have a well-organized, good teamwork, basically a great performance all around.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Vex player card. Well, I find it. Here we go. As I said before, you want to check out Vex, go on vexgaming.com. Their captain is Hellraiser. Hellraiser is playing in the tournament. He has passed many administrative duty on, and it's really cool, you know, to see a guy, you know, who's like, you know, he has his own, you know, community forum. He's got, you know, Vex, like that's him, and he's also, you know, at a high enough skill level to play in the competitive scene. You know, competitive scene of Firefall right now. I mean, we have people like Epsilon is looking into it. Complexity, their CEO, is really into the game. You have, you know, other people looking and being really positive about the outlook of Firefall. Sir Scoots, DJ Wheat, you know, these kind of people are like, you know, where's the FPS game? And I really think that Firefall can be it. But let's get back to Vexed. Hellraiser is their captain, plays a mean assault. We got Scarth, who many people know from PvE is the Baneclaw guy. I think he's killed like 300 Baneclaws. I'm not even kidding. He kills like 15 Baneclaws a day. You get your little melding thing. You say, hey Scarth, I want to do a Baneclaw. He says, okay, I'll hook you up. Then he just gets like 20 Dreadnoughts, and he's like, go, and you get your hat. It's pretty awesome. On the team, we also have Spiffy1, Hysterica, Nurashu, War Strateger, and Satchko. A very solid team overall, well-rounded. They gave themselves 4 out of 5. I'll agree with that. They might be, you know, a little bit underrated. We're going to see a great game between Dark Hour today. There hasn't been that many tournaments, so, you know, we don't know exactly how the skill and the gear is going to play in, but it should be a very good match. Both these teams know how to play Firefall, and Shantytown is a great map to really represent that. So the Vex team itself is sponsored by Vex Gaming, and as I said before, Vex Gaming, there's a lot of stuff to do. You want to check them out. You want, you know, a little community place. You want a place to hang out. Maybe you just want to be introduced to Firefall. Check out, you know, vexgaming.com. And they were founded in January 1st, 2011. Skill rating 4 out of 5. Sam, what do you think we might see strategy-wise from Vex against Dark Hour? You know, Dark Hour does have T2, one of the best recons in the game, and I don't feel Vex, you know, will have that utility.
Well, I think really it's going to be all about positioning. If they end up trying to take the high ground and they don't control T2, they're going to have a lot of trouble because T2 is just going to pick them off, and they're not going to be able to deal with harass long enough in order to actually get into a decent fight. If they can pressure T2 and keep T2 from taking those high ground sniping positions, and at the very least keep them from putting too much pressure on them, they can get into those team fights, and hopefully with T2 being out of the way sniping, they can potentially abuse that position and win those team fights as a group and succeed in getting a wipe.
Really, you know, Recon has gone through a lot of changes where, you know, we had periods of time where we called Recons on Sunken Harbor, Balance Cons, and Recon Harbor was Sunken Harbor. Swap that. You know, there's a lot of open areas and line of sight that Recons are very effective at controlling. However, again, with the crafting changes, is you see, you know, assaults with very low afterburner cooldowns are able to run really long flank routes pretty safely, and they're able to really close the distance on Recons, especially with many assaults rocking Missile Shot for that knockback. So it's sort of a 1-2 punch straight at Recon and they bail out. So Recons are sort of having to position themselves much closer to their team, and as such they're one, more protected, but at the same time they're also more vulnerable. So you're also seeing recons rocking decoy to try and get out of those situations.
It's actually interesting you mentioned that, because I have seen T2 use decoy quite a bit. I know T2 is one of the people who started using that earliest, even before the recent change that actually increased crafting ability. So we can expect T2 to use that decoy. And actually, the interesting thing, you mentioned the crafting change, means that he can craft whichever decoy he wants. And based on how often he plays Firefall, he probably does have the resources to craft an extremely low cooldown decoy, and that's actually going to give him a lot of the mobility that generally favors assaults over recons. So really, that infinite crafting window goes two ways. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some insanely high damage sniper shots and some extremely frequent and powerful abilities out of both teams and out of T2.
We're sort of talking about all this crafting and stuff, but really, if you have, like a blue resource, you're pretty much going to hit like the cap. There are caps to it. I want to underscore this, that it's not some like unfair PvE grind. If you have like a blue or good green resource, you will hit the cap on whatever specific thing you are. So like if you have like let's say Firefall has a crafting system. If you guys didn't know that, Firefall is this PvE world. It's got crafting and thumping, and it's got dynamic missions and content. It's not just a PvP thing, but we are focusing on the PvP thing today. But going back to the crafting, you have a green resource, just for example, and you're using it to craft Afterburner, and you want cooldown on Afterburner. So you have a 10-second cooldown on Afterburner using your green resource. It's not that big a difference. Just want to underscore that. So right now I just want to update you guys. We are waiting for the teams to get into game. We are having some technical difficulties with the challenge mode. Happens. We don't have our lobbies now. We're sort of stringing this together as we go along, using Firefall's built-in spectator mode. You guys can use that if you want to use it. So we are waiting. Let's see, what else can we talk about? We got our interviews set up for you. You know what? Let's go ahead and play Hellraiser. Hellraiser's interview. Bloody Kulati did us an interview. Hellraiser, of course, on Vex, and they'll be playing Dark Hour in the first game of the tournament. So I will go ahead and play that for you guys. Stay tuned.
Hey there, everyone. Bloody Kulati back again with another interview. This time I'm joined with Hellraiser, the one that's hosting the Legends tournament from Vex Gaming. And I got a couple questions for you. So, being the host of the tournament, do you feel any pressure to come out on top?
Not really. We're essentially trying to build a professional team, but we know that we're going to have to take some steps to get there. So what this is a way to be able to compete against the top competition, as well as being able to promote a game that we love.
Sounds awesome, man. So, is there any team on the roster that poses like any kind of intimidation on you guys? That team that you guys are looking at on the schedule, and it makes you really focused and motivated to be at your best?
I was really excited when I saw the schedule because it brought out a lot of people. There were some teams that people knew that were already going to be a dominant factor that joined, like Hubris. But Z Protoss' team is not to be underestimated. I think that those guys definitely have what it takes. If they played the game a little bit more and actually devoted their time to Firefall, I think that they would be a very, very, very good team at the top. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing them and seeing what happens there.
Awesome. So on behalf of myself and everyone taking part in the tournament, we would all like to thank you so much for hosting this for us, putting this all together, and we're more than happy to help you out in hosting this, and just want to say thanks for not only hosting it, but for providing this for everyone to be a part of. So thank you for your time.
I really thank you. And I've got to thank everybody else that's helped me out. Without all of the help in the community, the suggestions, the comments, all the things that we've been able to do and change, it's helped out tremendously. And without you guys, we wouldn't have even been able to get as far as we are here. So,
Definitely. So thank you for your time, and we want to wish you good luck in your tournament. Hopefully you'll come out on top, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, and that was Hellraiser's group. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to the Dark Hour interview. T2, the captain of Dark Hour. We're gonna jump right into Bloody Kulati's interview with T2.
Hey there, everyone. This is Bloody Kulati, and today I'm joined with T2 from Dark Hour Gaming. And T2, I got some questions to ask you. Where did Dark Hour originate from?
Well, that's actually a funny question. Dark Hour actually originated from some of the guys that I just played Firefall with for these past couple months. And actually Warped came up with the name, and we kind of all liked it, so we kind of went with it.
That's awesome. I know that you guys have your own community forum, if you'd like to plug that in.
Yeah, it's darkhourgaming.com. Or you could follow two of us stream daily. Mine's twitch.t2, just like my in-game name. And then Famine has two Z's at the end.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check out some good competitive gameplay from two really good players, you guys can check out Famine and T2 over on Twitch. I know that they stream pretty consistently, so if you guys want to check that out, that's going to be some good stuff to check out. So I also wanted to ask you, Dark Hour's never been able to get over that hump. You know, you guys have been placing second or third in tournaments past, and I wanted to see what changes, if any, have you guys made in order to come out on top in this tournament?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had a lot of problems trying to get over that hump. But I think we got a good group of guys now. We got two different players, two new players, two biotechs, Fantao, and I don't think Stoilish played in the last tournament either. And both of those players are very top-tier players. And Fantao, as you guys will see today, he's a pretty good biotech, and I think that could get us over the hump, hopefully.
Hopefully. I'm excited to see some new composition there. You guys are mentioning two biotechs. That's going to be fun to watch. So do you feel like it's been an issue of not being able to practice enough, or do you feel like, how you mentioned you got two new players, do you think it's just a matter of you guys didn't have the right people in place, or is it just a fact of not being able to practice enough?
I think it's both, actually. I think that we have had an issue of not being able to practice a lot because there's not many teams that can scrim on a consistent basis, and right now some of our players are actually European players, so the time difference frame is a lot different. But also at the same time, I think the issue is we still haven't found those 5 core group of guys that play consistently together every day, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, all right then, man. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you good luck in the tournament, and hopefully you guys will come out on top, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we have
Hey there, everyone. This is Bloody Kulati.
No one saw that. All right, we have the match between Vex and Dark Hour, so we'll be jumping that right now, and no more waiting. We are going to start the first match of the tournament. I'm sure you guys know plenty about the players right now. I will be hopping in there. Sam, have you loaded up this map? Let me know.
I am ready to go.
All right, let's go ahead and sync in 3, 2, 1. And there it is. There is Firefall on the Firefall stream. We are... I'm sorry, sync again. I was paused in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Let's take a look at the teams. Vex Gaming, of course. Hellraiser, Hysterica, Narashu, Scarth, and Spiffy One. Here we go. The match has begun. Gonna take a look at Scarth. Ooh, it looks like Team Vex is going to go the low ground route and try and contest over this way. Looks like... Team Dark Hour is taking the top. T2 is actually not playing Recon. I'm pretty surprised at this. Naraj is going to be the one with the pressure. Lands a crowd shot. That's going to take T2 out of commission. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overhead view. And here we go. We're seeing them fight on their own spawn side. Going to take a look at Hysterica pushing straight into Stoius. No one has gone down yet. Stoius is low. Gets the heal off from Famine. Famine tops both of them up. Oh my god, Zwei the Crater King trying to snatch a kill. Not going to happen. And it looks like Vex is going to pick up the first kill and have it 1-0.
actually interesting positioning here right now. With Dark Hour's composition, they have 3 assaults and 2 biotechs. That's going to give them a lot of healing and a lot of upfront firepower, which is presumably why they tried to go in here. But really, it's like going in first all alone really seemed to have crippled that attack a little bit. It does look like 2 of the assaults did survive, and it looks like Dark Hour is actually going to come out on top of this due to their more upfront firepower, and Rashu really being forced to just look from the side as Dark Hour fights around that rock and avoids the recon shots.
Yeah, and Zwei is busting out all of the craters. I guess he feels pretty safe using it. He did get crowd, but now he gets double healed from Von Tao and Famine. Ooh, Scarth going down. It is 3-4. Stoish is trying to pick off the recon, trying to have control of that. He's a little bit low. Here we go. Narashu is caught off guard. Is he going to pop decoy? It looks like he did pop it. Here he is chasing that decoy, trying to find out where in Sin is he. Stoish is just looking. Narashu actually gets picked down. A really nice pick from Famine, just able to finish off that recon. And now Vex Gaming's recon is out of the picture. They have a 5v4 advantage, and right now they're just trying to hunt Vex, take control of the double, and let's go ahead and take a look at Zwei. Is on the high ground, trying to Sin and trying to figure out for Dark Hour where exactly everyone on Vex Gaming is.
So they're probably going for that really high crater right now, just based on how high he's flying. Yeah, he is going to go for it by the look of it.
Is he going to land it?
Down. And right on the recon.
Right on Rashu, taken down. I think that probably did around 3,000 damage. You can see these players, you know, don't have a lot of health. The Plasma doesn't do that much, so he gets the one hit off the recon, initiates for his team. He drops out there. Let's go ahead and look at Scarth. Scarth's trying to clean up Vonto. Hellraiser is down. Hysterica and Scarth are both at half. Dark Hour has a very good advantage here. They're up 8-5 right now, and right now they're just trying to pick it off. Scarth is going to get picked down. There's no way he's making it out. Famine cleans it up. Let's take a look at where Narashu is supporting his team. He's on the cliff side of the map. Ooh, T2 does not like that recon, trying to push in. Lands a shockwave. One more hit will do it. He gets taken down. T2 with a very nice pick. Let's jump onto his cam. Going to try and kill over here on Spiffy. They know they have their 5-4 advantage once again, and they are pushing and fighting around Vex Gaming spawn, and they're really controlling it. It's 10-6 right now. Vex is getting those picks off, but they're consistently fighting when they're down one man or when they're hurt, and it's not working out well for them.
We can really see the core of Dark Hour's strategy here. They've got 3 assaults and 2 biotechs, which means they know they have more healing power and they know they have more upfront firepower. So they're just trying to pick off the recon and engage constantly. By engaging constantly, they avoid that poke advantage that the recon provides Vex Gaming.
Ooh, and a slow-mo kill. Yeah, a slow-mo kill on T2 from Scarth, trying to afterburner away, but no go. Getting a res off. You can revive people. Vonto with the res on his teammate, so that point does not count. You must execute players. Here we go. We see Hellraiser down over here. A nice healing pillar, a self-heal ability from the biotech. A very, very nice ability. You throw it down, your teammate knows exactly where to heal, when it's going to heal, but unfortunately, so does the enemy. Let's take a look at Narashu. He's got double. Ooh, gets lazed down. T2, though, is killed. You're not going to be able to get the res on him. Let's jump back over to Famine. Take a look at the scoreboard. Wow, the top 5 players are all Dark Hour. Really picking up you know, Von Tao and Stoish looks like it's paying off. The biotechs actually with the most points in this game, not something you see all the time. Usually a lot more support, but Vonto saying, hey, you know what? Biotech is support, but guess what? It's still a very, very, very able offensive class with his 4-0.
Dark Hour, we can really see by the points, is grouped up a lot more than Vex has been so far. That grouping up giving them, of course, all the assist points, which is reflected so on the scoreboard here. Vex Gaming really not getting the chance to group up again and organize. Dark Hour just constantly going in for the picks, flying out again, afterburning, back and forth. Those low cooldown assault abilities and all that crafting really coming into play here, giving Dark Hour the mobility and the damage that's letting them take control of this match so well.
Yeah, and remember, this is round robin. We are doing this relatively quickly. It's going to be a best of 1. Oh, Zwei gets the slow-mo kill on Scarth. Scarth dropping that ammo pack. I'm sure somebody will want that. Here we go. Here, Vex comes in. I don't think this is a good position. Hellraiser gets a hit, tries to afterburner away. I think he might get picked off. No, the biotech needler's not doing as much. Zwei chasing. There's 2 down. Goes for the crater. Execute. Gets those 2 points for his team. 19-11 now in favor of Dark Hour. And they're really showing that, you know what, they have what it takes now. They picked up these 2 players. They're playing very smartly. Narashu gets picked off. Scarth and Spiffy are left. Is Spiffy out? No, they're both regrouping in spawn. A very smart move. They really need to plan exactly how they're going to be able to attack Dark Hour over here.
Dark Hour just rushing in with those 3 assaults, saying we have the upfront firepower, we have the heals to win in a direct fight, and just not giving Vex Gaming a chance to play that poke game that they were expecting to play coming in here.
And one other thing to note is something we didn't talk about. The 3 Assault 2 biotech has actually been kind of popular as of late, and even with all the changes that have happened, it still seems like they think this is a very strong comp for Shantytown, and I definitely agree. You're very mobile. Let's take a look at the abilities for Von Tao. He's actually pure healing. He is not running evac to get him outside and be careful, and neither is Famine. Actually, that's really surprising to me. And here we go. Dark Hour is pushing out. They need to watch out for the crater on Hysterica. Wow, Zwei being really, really, really effective with that. It's an insta kill if you time it right. And Vex has to be careful. One clean up kill on Rashu, and that is going to end the match. He just needs to be executed, and Von Tao is going for it. Spiffy is trying to deny that. He's like, no, I need to get the res on my teammate. The Bio Needles, no one else on each team is helping them. Here comes the healing wave to push him away, and he does bleed out. And Dark Hour is going to take game 1 of the tournament against Vex, 25-13. A very good showing from Famine. I know he's a good biotech, but 6-0 with 8 assists. Now that's something else. On the Vex side, Hellraiser topping out with Scarth having tied for the most points on their team. Hysterica playing the very, very supportive role as a bio. So no surprises there. And it's kind of cool to see 2 bios on the top 3 for Dark Hour. They seem to have a very capable set of players there.
Really showing what Red 5 has really been advocating. The biotech is a healing class, but that doesn't mean it's not a combat class. And by running those 6 healing abilities on 2 biotechs, they get the maximum amount of healing they can, but thanks to the setup of the biotech and the needler, they still deal a ridiculous amount of damage, meaning that Dark Hour knows they have the upfront firepower. They're going to go in, and when they go in, they're going to have control of the fight. There's no need for Dark Hour to back out, because in an upfront fight, they're going to be up at least 1 person, because Vex Gaming is running recon. So Dark Hour is sacrificing those escape abilities and the safety on the biotechs for a large amount of healing, giving them that upfront heal ability that allows them to take these fights and really not give Vex Gaming any chance to gather up and really organize anything.
Yeah, it was I mean, that was a pretty good match for the tournament. You could see each team knew exactly what it needed to do. Zwei, though, you know, that's a wild card. You're not used to Assaults getting the high ground on Shanty and aiming to crater kill your recons, right? They don't use their shockwave, they don't use their missile shot. It's just one ability is crater, and with Afterburn on a low cooldown, they can easily get away and rejoin the fight. It's kind of a really cool setup and initiation ability if you land it, and that's the key thing. If you're not able to utilize it correctly, you're wasting a skill slot, and you only have 3 skill slots. So give us a minute while we wait and the other teams start their matches. In round 2, we have Hubris versus PV Esports. We have the Extras versus BRZ and the Herd versus Dark Hour. PV Esports went 25-4 against Team BRZ. Not surprising. Let's actually take a look at Team PV Esports team and why they went 25-4. Let's bring up those player cards and tab over to PV Esports. If you've been following Firefall, you might know a few of these people. Alondar, Your Dad, A-Stars, Fumes, and Tilter. A very, very solid lineup. It says no bio, but really, to me, that looks like the whole team can play bio. Instead of PV Esports, they might be PvE supports. Tilter has been playing a long time. He used to be on Triple Threat, if you watched any of the earlier tournaments. Tilter's a very good player. He's also very versatile. He can be playing Biotech, Assault, or Recon. I believe Assault is his best frame, but he's a solid Biotech and a pretty good supportive Recon. Fumes, great bio. Ace, another versatile player. Alondar, another versatile player. And Your Dad, usually been playing Dreadnought, but I've seen him play other classes. I'm actually pretty interested to see what he's going to be playing. Probably Assault. Maybe we'll see another 3 Assault, 2 bio, or even 3 bio, 2 Assault. We'll see. And Team BRZ is our Polish team, I believe. Team something like Brzeziczkiewicz. I know it has like a Zowie in there. Like, don't look at me. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. The captain is Pyra, and they have Super Misk, Redzik, Perry Jusong, Shogun, Sonder PL, Shangtai, and ROFG. Oh, I'm sorry. The no bio is that there's no team bio. Excuse me. We do see our rating for them is 2 out of 5. They're relatively unknown. I don't follow the European server that much, so if I don't see you in game, I'm not exactly sure how good you are. It's no offense to them. we'll be seeing other teams be playing. And we just got the match score from Hubris versus the Herd. Hubris went 25-0. Now, that's not too surprising. It just goes to show you that, you know, if you have a very commanding, solid team, you will be able to get those points. So we are, I believe, starting some of the other matches shortly. Let's see, Hubris, yeah. So Hubris 25-0. If you're wondering why Hubris went 25-0, wonder no longer. The team is ABC. Their captain is Coolmat, and their members are Razex, Chump, Tarza, Meta, and Nodoy. The team to beat for this tournament, I gotta say.
Yeah, really, I can't think of any player on that list who I wouldn't want to avoid in a normal PvP match, much less in a tournament game. A lot of these guys just don't miss. And at the end of the day, Firefall is a shooter. And when you combine not missing your shots with teamwork and practice, you're going to be a very difficult team to beat. So Hubris really looking, I guess, like the favorite right now. There are going to be some interesting matches to see if someone can actually topple them, because we don't really know how these teams are as of yesterday. A lot of these teams haven't really gotten a chance to play each other on the most recent patch. And as you know, Firefall is in beta. It's changing a lot. So really, keeping up with the game and practicing constantly, one of the key things to do here. And I would expect a lot of the teams in this tournament today have been doing that.
And, you know, like, as you said, like, anytime I see any of these people, I'm like, well, I hope they're on my team. And then if they're not, well, it's like, well, okay, I'll just kind of, like, I'll just only shoot at Meta when he's at half health. Like, I think I can win then. But as you said, like, you know, it's pretty frightening. It's like, oh, you know, usually assaults miss or splash. But suddenly when the assault never misses, they become a much scarier class. And biotechs that can track, oh my god, their DPS from long range is very, very scary.
It's actually crazy because at aims like this, Firefall becomes an entirely different game. If you land your entire combo as an assault, you land a missile shot, a shockwave, and a normal assault shot, you can basically one-shot most classes. You can one-shot a recon with nothing but a shockwave and an assault blast. So really, at these high levels, these different aims, it becomes less about the things we see in normal PvP, these prolonged fights flying around, and just becomes who can get the first shot up, who can burst, and who can stick together well enough to avoid that happening to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is you know, when the recons can reliably get headshots, when the assaults land their combos, when the you know, when the biotechs know exactly when to, you know, evac or healing wave to knock back the enemy teams and evac and not die, like, it becomes a very different game that I think is based more on initiative. So you see, you know, like, Zwei was running Crater, and that, I think, underscores that. So we have PV Esports versus Hubris, two of the higher ranked teams, and we'll be jumping into that game very, very shortly. Stay tuned. All right, Sam, I am in the match. What about you?
I am in as well, so let's sync up and get this started.
All right, let's go ahead and sync up in 3, 2, 1. Again, this is my goodness, Hubris versus PV Esports. I'm sorry, both of these teams have changed their names. And here we go. Let's follow Razex over here. Looks like we are having Tilter play Recon. It looks like they have decided they want that Recon. It's going to be Tilter versus Coolmat. Very, very good Recons, both in their own right. Your Dad is playing Dreadnought. We are going to see that Dreadnought play a little bit more supportive. Meta and Tarza. Oh, Tarza actually playing Assault instead of his trademark Biotech, and he also mentioned that he might be playing Dreadnought. We are seeing some picks over here. Let's take a look at Coolmat. He is dueling with Tilter over there. You see him just trying to poke out, trying to land, you know, a cryo shot, trying to land a Sin Scrambler. It's not happening. Both teams playing very defensive now, really relying on their recon picks like we've seen in the past. Ooh, there gets Fumes. He is actually Sin Scrambled. His team sees him as an enemy and they can't heal him. So that might be the initiative. Yes, here it is. Here comes Meta pushing up. Fumes gets picked off. Your Dad a little bit hurt. 1-0 immediately executed. Meta just rejoining his team, trying to pick off who he can. Goes for the missile shot on Tilter. No good. If he landed that, he probably would have afterburnered and went for the kill. Just trying to suppress Tilter. Tilter, no, where's your decoy? Oh my god, he's trying to get healed. The bio is weak. Tilter just trying to get away, trying to pull Meta out of position, but no good. He goes down. Your Dad almost dead. Ooh, a nice cryo shot from Coolmat, and now Fumes goes down. Meta just running around all over the place, showcasing the mobility of Assault. Now Your Dad trying to guard his team with the revive, with the absorption bomb. It does stop all the damage, and unfortunately for him, he is not able to get that res off. Fumes is back in spawn. Oh my god, they actually did save him. Wow, look at that, saving those 2 points. A-Stars does go down, but it is completely worth it. Getting 2 people up for the price of 1 is a trade I take any day of the week.
Tilter actually is not running decoy. He doesn't have any real defensive abilities. He's running cryo shot, execute shot, and satchel charge, I believe.
Wow, that's pretty surprising.
That red team with 2 assaults and a lot of that assault mobility is actually going to be chasing down Tilter and looking to get that pick off to actually start the fight. Both teams know that they're very evenly matched, and both teams know that if they're down a player, that is the crippling disadvantage that is going to give one team the lead. Meaning we are going to see one of those classic poke games, and Meta actually is going to go in and try to pick off A-Stars, and he does succeed. So this is probably going to be the cue to go in here.
Yep, I gotta agree. Ooh, Coolmat lands a nice cryo shot, and now he's pressuring Tilter. Tilter's out of the mix, so let's go back on Meta. Your Dad trapped over there, uses Absorption Bomb to just buy a little bit more time, but unfortunately he's getting focus from the entire team. Ooh, Tilter actually does go down now. They're out. They're down 2 players. It's 5v3. They're all stacked. Look at them playing very smart. They're saying, okay, we don't want to put ourselves in a bad position. Let's just clean up our kills, try and poke, you know, get that missile shot off, try and focus Alandar, and then just pick off their healing. A-Stars gets trapped. A nice grenade from Razak actually to kill him. There's a combo from Meta, a Shockwave and a Plasma Blast, as we talked about. And it looks like Team Hubris is going to be the ones taking it over PV Esports, as they have a substantial lead right now and picking off players very, very smartly.
Yeah, really a full wipe going down here. Red team having that focus, being careful, getting those picks off that really determine how these fights go. It's also worth noting the different compositions here. They're not running a Dreadnought, meaning they do have the advantage of having just a little bit more mobility and having those 2 assaults to actually take advantage of those opportunities. They can initiate a lot faster, they can back out a lot faster, and that flexibility is really one of the things that's giving them the advantage in this fight.
Yeah, the supportive, you know, nature of the Dreadnought frame is so apparent up close, but you know, Hubris is not letting that happen. What they're doing is making sure that they poke very, very effectively from long range, using missile shot, using their recon, using Shockwave and Afterburner to close the gap immediately when they have an advantage. And 15-1, you know, look at that spread. Coolmat, Meta, Tarza, 5-5-5. That's, you know, really good balance. Coolmat with a lot of assists, as you see from the recon poke style, and really, you know, PV Sports is staying in spawn. They're trying to figure out what exactly they can do. Are we going to see... Yep, your Dad changes to Assault. We are going to see 3 Assault, 2 Bio. Very common. Meta trying to get the surprise out. Says, oh, this is a bad idea. Hey, guys, they're at spawn. I need a heal. And Sin Scrambler lands on Fumes. That will take him out of commission. He also can't heal his teammates. Look at that. Very, very, very good focus. Land the Sin Scrambler. Decide, hey, they're down 1 Bio. And then try and move in for the pick. Very cool play.
You're not actually trying to get a jump on Red Team, trying to make something happen. Just gets focused down by Red Team. That is going to put both them at a disadvantage once again. Tilter going down as well. They're going down 1 by 1 here, not really having the same coordination and focus that the other team's showing. And that's really what's hurting them right here. Coolman is getting those picks up, getting those recon shots off, but the other team just doesn't have an answer.
Yeah, and you know, there's some cleanup from you see all the here's the thing. Okay, I've noticed all the 3 offensive classes, Coolmat, Meta, Tarza, they are working extremely well together to immediately focus, and that's probably something that's not happening on PvE sports. You're not seeing the health of dudes immediately drop. You're seeing Tilter go down to 0, then you're seeing your dad go down to 0, then you're seeing Fumes go down to 0. They're immediately focusing and cleaning up all of their executes, and they're maintaining this very strong position outside of PvE sports spawn.
Really, you can see here now as nothing is happening for a moment, how Hubris is really working by default. They're all jetting around, they're circling around each other, they're staying mobile, and they're sort of rotating out who's at the point and who's taking the damage. Using that mobility that their team has really to the best advantage they can make out of it.
Yeah, and you know, you're seeing PV Sports trying to do the same thing. They're trying to poke, using that missile shot on low cooldown to be the initializer for their team. They do have the high ground advantage outside of their spawn, but really there's so much distance that, you know, Hubris can create with their recon and their assault advantage that it's just not playing out well.
PvE Sports forced to play passive by, I guess, a superior aim of Hubris, but that's a passiveness that comes back to hurt them because Coolmat is recon, and it is going to cost them the game. 25-1. A closer match than the score would indicate because these teams aren't that far away in skill. It's just that in Firefall, when one team has an advantage, it tends to manifest itself in a fairly large score difference. Coolmat really doing an incredible job on recon, getting 9 kills. Those recon pickoffs really on Shantytown, hurting PvE Sports quite a bit because PvE Sports, in order to avoid getting hit by those 2 assaults that Hubris brought out to Tarza and Meta, really need to try to take the air and try to juke. But at the same time, that very juking and very jetpacking is leaving them exposed to Coolmat, meaning that Hubris brings out that 1-2 punch of 2 assaults, 1 recon, and of course the 2 biotechs for the heals. And PvE Sports just didn't have an answer to that.
Yeah, I honestly expected this match to be much closer than it was. I gotta say, you know, Tilter, Ace, Alondra, your dad, Fumes, like, that is not a bad team. Unfortunately, they're going up against, you know, Coolmat, Tarza, Meta, Razex, and Chump. I do know Hubris has been practicing. Maybe they've been practicing more than PvE Sports has. But like you said, you know, as a closer match than indicated. But I gotta really, you know, hats off to Hubris. They showed a very commanding strategy and skill and play on this map. Give us 1 minute while we figure out what match is next. Stay tight. Alright, it looks like we're going to jump into another round 2 match. This is going to be Team BRZ, Brzezikiewicz, the Polish team, versus the Extras, 2 of our, I guess, more community-oriented teams. You know, the tournament is also here to structure, you know, people playing and getting a feel for the sense of, like, you know, hey, let's get 5 people on and play as a team, and, oh, wow, this is actually, like, completely different. Like, this is where I get my enjoyment, a lot of my enjoyment out of Firefall is through playing, you know, organized 5v5. It's really a quite different experience. So let us go find this match. Let me load this up right here using, of course, Firefall's built-in replay mode. So if you guys want to check it out, like any of the games that happened today, if you log on to Firefall and you scroll through the match ID list, you'll see like 800 Shantytowns today, and you can actually go and check it out. You can watch and spectate exactly like we're doing. It's really fantastic to see support like this early on in the game. You know, it's still beta, but you know, certain, you know, some other games, you know, they don't have this, and yet, you know, they're considering themselves esports titles. So it's really cool to see a studio like Red 5 come out and support this really early on. Super
Yeah, I
art.
believe we'll also be publishing the match IDs later.
Oh, will we?
Completely sure
Awesome.
about that, but
That's
I
pretty
think
great.
so. Well, we are recording the match IDs, at the very least for the sake of ensuring that all matches were played fairly. So hopefully we will be able to release those later, and then you will be able to watch those matches yourself. Anyway, are you loaded in? I am ready to go.
I am loaded in. Let us sync up in just 1 second. There is the match for you guys on the stream. You can also take a look at what we're looking at, and I will sync in 3, 2, 1, boom. So let's see. It is extras versus BRZ. So Soup is on extras now. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so blue team is the extra. Soup with his nice hat over here and purple shades and blue and purple battleframe. Getting into that recon duel immediately with Shogun. Will we see a bit more picking off from these teams? I don't know. Let's check out their team composition, Sam.
It's actually interesting because the extras is running an engineer, so they're running 2 recons actually. Another unique choice: 2 recons, an assault, an engineer, and a biotech. On the other hand, BRZ is running 3 assaults, a recon, and a biotech. Both teams opting for 1 biotech instead of 2, a deviation from what we've been seeing so far. But that 2 recon composition, something completely new as well, and something that's going to give the extras quite a bit of poke. Actually, shots already going down. Redzik goes down. Just a brawl happening in the bottom of the map here. Numu falling back because he is low on health.
Yeah, Numu is actually doing a lot of work as engineer, not relying on his deployables that much. He does have a supply station, really good. That's sort of like replacing the secondary biotech. You throw down a pad, it gives you ammo and health. Just doing a lot of damage in that bottom area. As you see, ooh, Pyra is getting kills, gets Corpus and cleans him up, heals his teammate over there. Looks like BRZ is trying to regroup over on their side of spawn. Superior is down, so they're liable to make a play if they get a pick from Shogun. Shogun is actually reviving his teammate. Good on him. No seconds left, dodges the health pack, lets them heal up. Now they got 5 up. They're not full like the extras is, but now Corpus is trying to push in. Let's take a look at Corpus's cam. He's running over to the high ground, trying to get a flank on Soup. No, he says, okay, you guys are all in there. I'm going to try and initiate using missile shot, spamming down that quarter, say, hey, that is my area. You are not allowed to be there. Gonna grab some health over here. That's one of the other aspects of Shanty. You do have 2 health on opposite sides of the map, so you'll see, you know, usually assaults go around after they've taken damage, trying to initialize. Ooh, Shogun has the double. Missile shot is no good. Corpus is getting out of there. He's like, I do not want any part of being hit by double damage. Unfortunately, that is too bad. There's the kill on Corpus from a Shogun. Gets immediately fired on. Let's take a look at Soup. Is he kind of counter snipe? No. Soup is back over here using decoy, getting out of trouble. Pyra over there hovering a little bit too high. I think it's a nice body shot from Soup. And we're going to see these teams.
Kabuska. Actually, all the way at the top of the map, gets actually picked off by Shogun.
Oh, very nice.
I believe Shogun still had the double damage at the time. He is not going to get revived there. No one is actually even going to be able to jet up there in time. And Red seems to have a more organized position right now. BRZ really playing a nice organized game at the moment. Playing that slow forward push. Red actually extending far extremely forward, but not taking the damage that would force him back. So...
Yeah. And it's actually pretty balanced. You know, it's 4-3. We're seeing the recon pressure. Soup is down, and now Shogun is down. Is either team going to push in? I don't think so. One aspect of controlling the quote weak side is you're able to get off these safe reses. Oh my god, Soup with the double kill, just lined up using decoy. They had no idea what hit him. Extra is getting a few points on the board, and here we go. They're pushing in. Redzik is the only one left. Is going to get immediately focused by every single person on extras. There's no way he is making it out of there. Ooh, a crowd shot from Soup to clean it up. And what was a very close match previously with that recon pick, and then Soup smartly using decoy, they cleaned up. Soup with 8 and 2. Wow, all the points are Soup's. Look at him go. Extras did a nice job picking up Superior.
Yeah, BRZ really not adequately addressing the recon that Extras is putting up here. Sure, the decoy is not something that you can really see coming based on the fact that most people use it as an escape. But even after that, the moment Soup is sighted, he needs to be taken out. Especially because he just had some close range recon shots. He was just able to get off one pick after the other. And really, as we see here, those recon shots taking apart BRZ.
Yeah, and that's something, that they can adjust to. They have 3 assaults and a recon. They have the ability to run flank routes on Soup. They have the ability to, get those initiation skills. If you have more than 1 assault, actually a really good combo on recons is missile shot, missile shot. I mean, that takes a very, very large chunk of their health away. And you're able to line it up due to the knockback. You call out, I'm going to missile shot Soup. You see it hit. He pops up in the air. You missile shot again. He's down. These are the sort of things that when you have an organized team are possible and not possible, in a pickup game. But here we do see Extras pushing in to BRZ spawn.
It's something they'll have to do because Extras have the recon advantage. So Shogun alone really has no chance to actually take out Superior. Because even if he tries, Kabuska is just going to cover Superior's back and take out Shogun. Meaning that unless they can run those assault flank routes and unless they can find Superior and take him out before these fights start, they're going to be in an increasingly dangerous position as this match goes on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm looking at Kabuska. Ooh, lands a very nice charge headshot on Perry. Perry goes down. Shogun is down. They have a 5-3 advantage that they want to push, but Kabuska's role in this is not as much kills. Soup is getting a lot of kills. Kabuska's getting assists, but what Kabuska is doing is sending everyone on Team BRZ from the high ground. He's like, hey, guess what? You're going to have to deal with this. And he's just running down mines, running down shots over there, being very effective and allowing, his team to know exactly where the enemy team is. And you know what? Sometimes that's more important than getting kills.
It's worth noting, though, that actually only one of BRZ's assaults even has missile shot. So the missile shot strategy is not something that's going to be very effective for them. And Kabuska on that high ground is going to be extremely difficult to take out without afterburners, without missile shots. Meaning that, really, if they do want to take out Kabuska without having 2 missile shots, BRZ is going to have to put an extremely large amount of focus into actually taking that out. And if they're focusing on Kabuska, they can't focus on Superior. So the Extras really putting together an extremely nice team composition here, putting BRZ between a rock and a hard place and really giving them a terrible choice in how they actually want to play this out.
Yeah, now we're watching a little recon duel. Superior's fighting Shogun. He says, okay, this is not a winning duel for me. Let's go away. Let me regroup. Gonna go ahead and look at the overhead cam. All the fighting seems to be happening outside of BRZ's spawn, which is usually not something you want to be doing. Ooh, Numu coming over here, lighting up Shogun as the engineer says, you know what, my lightning gun only has 25 range, but that's more than enough to pick off the recon. Gets out of there, will probably call it for his team. Here we go. They see him moving in. Party Size and Corpus trying to close in, pick up what kills they hand. A nice satchel from Superior, picks up Reds. Shogun is down. Pyra is going to get lasered up by the engineer. Numu, can he do it? There he goes. One more down. We only have Perry up. Shogun is probably hanging out in spawn. There he is. Super Mist trying to clean up the spawn area and just push him back a little bit. Trying to get some breathing room for the team. And we are seeing Extras just having a very nice match, 16-5.
At this point, with BRZ being pushed largely back to their own half and to their spawn, the Extras has the additional advantage of positioning, so they can place their recons all the way at the top of the map, with Kabuska camping once again at the highest point available. Superior can move to any side of the map he wants, can get any angle he wants, and BRZ just has to deal with whichever hand the Extras deal them, and obviously that's not going to be a nice hand. So really, they're unable at this point to actually find Superior and get the movement advantage on the Extras. At this point, the Extras has the initiative and can engage in whichever way they wish, and that's only going to make this match go further and further into the Extras' favor.
And Numu is just playing an extremely, extremely aggressive engineer, just running in with the lightning gun and the assault rifle, just dealing as much consistent damage. They only have 1 assault. That damage has to come from somewhere else up close, and that Numu is playing that role extremely well. I did see Party Size do a nice, team combo, you could say. Healing Wave to knock up the enemy in the air. Without afterburner, the assault stuck, and then the team just immediately shockwaves and, recon shoots him, and he's done. So, you are seeing, utility from Bio. They're more than just healing. They really are a support class, and even if their damage comes at long range, that's also support. It's really cool to see. Now, Soup's on the bottom, getting that double damage. Very, very, very good thing to have. Taking up this nice high ground position is 20-5 in favor of Extras right now. Shogun running away, grabbing that health. He's going to have to get a line of sight over here. Superior jetting up, trying to get a shot off on Perry. There comes the damage. Perry goes down to Superior. Pyra is down by Corpus, and we have 1 more, and we'll probably see maybe a wipe coming from the Extras.
Shogun actually being chased around in circles by Numu in that last fight. And BRZ, without their recon, without the long-range support, really doesn't have a clear answer to the 2 recon composition of the Extras. So Numu strategically trading his own participation in the battle for that of Shogun, and really giving Superior and Kabuska the air dominance and the long-range dominance that is giving the Extras this huge advantage during this match.
Yeah, and here comes Numu chasing BRZ, trying to get that extra kill that they need to win. It is 24-6. One more point will do it. Numu says that's a bad idea. I'm going to throw out my boomerang shot. I'm going to be safe. Corpus does seem to have been picked off by BRZ, but it's going to be taking a little bit more than that. There you saw the repair station grabbing that health, 500 to heal. Very good. It's effectively one more pickup on the map. Let's take a look at what Kabuska is looking at. Oh, he's looking at Shogun. Shogun is down. All he needs to do is actually kill him. Instead, he's going to try and get one more kill on Red. Superior actually grabs that with a sniper rifle. Just 3 more seconds on Shogun for the kill, and there we go. He bleeds out. A 25-8 victory from the Extras over BRZ. A more closer match and a more interesting team comp from both of these teams.
Really a great match here. Something we haven't really seen that much before. Super Recon composition is something that I have seen in the past, but we haven't seen it recently, and we haven't seen it in today's tournament. And we can really see that when played right, it's extremely effective. Surprising use of the engineer here. Generally, when you have 2 recons, you don't run an engineer as well. You run something with what seems like it has more upfront firepower, but really that's a statement we can't be making anymore, because Numu has fairly clearly shown us that the engineer does have the upfront firepower, does have the upfront burst, and can play a front range role, sort of as this in between of having a biotech and of having an assault, with more upfront burst, more upfront firepower, like with attacks like Boomerang, but also having that healing station and supply station, and giving the Extras that sustain that they need to keep up the pressure.
Looking at the score here, Numu playing the very, very aggressive engineer, 9-0. Didn't die. I really want to go back and take a look at what happened. I don't believe I saw a shield, which is usually what engineers rock. I think he had turrets.
He had
boomerang shot
and
supply station. Shield, I think, is very, very good skill for team fights, because usually you'll throw down your shield and it's a half dome, so you can shoot through it, and they can't shoot at you. And if you have 5 teammates behind a shield, pretty good, especially considering the tight corridors of Shanty. But if you wanted, turrets for map presence, turrets to put people into Sin so they would know where they are on the radar, repair station I think is almost a necessity if you're running 1 biotech. If you have 2, you can get away with using a different skill, but they chose not to run with that. And boomerang shot also really good on Shanty. You got a lot of long corridors where people can't really escape the boomerang. Going out, it'll do like 200 damage, but on the way back, it hits like a truck. It does like 500. Can really take a very large chunk out of anybody. So,
I think the key here, showing that lack of a shield, is that the Extras really weren't going for those team fights. For their strategy to work out properly, they had to avoid team fights. They were running 2 recons, so really they were just relying on that rain of recon shots to take out BRZ one at a time. Trading that shield for the upfront burst allows them to sort of get away with not having that 4th combat class, and instead run those 2 recons, because you have the engineer acting a bit as both of an assault and as a bio.
Well, all right. Well, I think we have moving on to the next match. That is round 3. Let me refresh the challenge bracket real quick and see what is up there, and we'll get back to you guys. We're gonna have I think one more. We're gonna have our round 3, and then we're going to have the a little break for you guys, so you don't have to be sitting at your computers the whole time. Gonna take a look at the challenge page, which is, whoopsie. Here we go. So you can see the scores for the matches. Round 1, PV Sport 25-4. Dark Hour versus Vex 25-13. We did see that match. And then some pretty strong showings from the teams that are probably going to take it. We're going to move into round 3 shortly. I believe we're jumping into PV Esports versus Dark Hour. That should be a pretty good game. Dark Hour and PV Esports both winning their respective matches. So we will hop in there in just a second. Sam, you have that match ID on hand?
I don't have it on hand. I'm going to be looking for it in spectator mode.
No problem. I got it right here in our document. All very handy. Many thanks to the people running the back end side. Bloody Kulati did his interviews, and he also is helping out with our bracket. Jay Leezy on Vex is helping out. Punk even from Brontonon is helping out. Thank you very much for help putting out our emergency fires. It is much appreciated. Leap as well. Sam Basti, of course, you are with me, and Hellraiser for putting it all together. He is playing, but also he has done some back end work for us as well. So did you go ahead and you found that match ID?
I believe so.
Alright, so let's hop right back into the game, and we'll be loading this up in just 1 minute. We are going to be watching PvE Sports vs Dark Hour. I am all loaded up. How about yourself?
I am ready to go.
Alright, let's actually do a team comp rundown as soon as we get all the players loaded into the match. So I'm going to go ahead and sync in 3, 2, 1. And let's take a look at the team comp for Dark Hour versus PvE Sports.
So as these players get loaded in, it's worth noting that we are, I believe, still in warm-up. So some of this might still change. It has happened in the past that players have switched right after warm-up in order to sort of trick the other team into thinking they were playing against something else. But we can already see that both teams, or actually that Dark Hour, I believe, looks like is going to be running 2 biotechs. Might be going for that same 3 assault, 2 biotech composition we saw earlier. And PvE Sports running 2 assaults already and 1 recon. So we can expect that last player to probably be a biotech. Biotech compositions being extremely strong in this, in large part because that increased healing gives you both the burst healing you need to win fights, but also that sustained healing you need to survive the spam and survive the harass that frequently comes down in these matches. So really, the change to biotech actually, in a way, almost making them stronger because they have the burst to be more effective in these close range fights, but also the sustained healing that lets them actually provide that sustain that the old healers used to provide. The big difference is, of course, that now there's sort of a cap on healing, thanks to cooldowns on those healing abilities, meaning that that we can see teams will probably attempt to lay down more spam than the bios can provide, or lay down spam, force the bios to pop their abilities, and then go in for the engage if they can't get off the pick.
And here we go. Looks like the match has started. Are you about 5 seconds into the game?
I'm at 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Focusing on Tilter, looks like he's looking, checking down that low ground. PvE Sports rocking 2 bio, 2 assault, 1 recon. And we're seeing the 3 assault, 2 bio. So really, I think it's up to Tilter to not die to Zwei's craters, and we'll be seeing that you know, that fight, I guess you could say, play out through this match.
Yeah, really, the team's just playing cautiously for now, trying not to get killed. The pickoff is the big thing that is going to determine how these fights go. Whichever team gets a pickoff is going to go for the engage.
Talking about pickoffs, Tilter lands a fully charged headshot on Famine. They are going to be able to pick that up. There comes all the bio needles straight from PvE Sports, and they are up 1-0 against Dark Hour, and it looks like Stoish is maybe pushing out a little bit too aggressively. Ooh, a nice healing wave to knock him off his balance. Ooh, there we're talking about Zwei lands the crater on Tilter, and you know, that's a free point right there. Zwei trying to clean up on Fumes over here, the biotech, trying to clean up. One more shot will do it. No, he needs to get out of there. Ooh, not going to happen. A very nice missile shot landed from A-Stars, who's actually playing Assault this game. Thought maybe we'd be seeing a Dreadnought, but really, this is too good. T2 using that healing pillar to great effect. Gets healed. One more shot will do it. T2 goes down. Ace is on the prowl to get one more kill. Stoish, his crowd, gets hit up and gets taken down. Tilter with the kill over there. We are seeing a very nice set of focusing from PV Esports. Maybe they realized that that was something they really needed to do better in the previous game.
Yeah, really just turning into a bit of an all-out brawl. Sviamla actually landing another crater, this time on the Londar. Gets Tilter as well. Tilter having the double damage when he goes down. Sviamla really getting those picks off. He's probably going to die here, but now Dark Hour should have the number advantage for at least a few seconds. Actually, thanks to the executes, respawn's already happening, and it looks like we're just going to go back to the same old position. The fight has calmed down a little bit. That all-out brawl we were seeing earlier has mostly stopped. And now the teams are just going to go back to poking at each other and trying to get the advantage.
Yep, and really they're waiting for the next double damage spawn, which is going to be about 45 seconds. You're seeing the teams take this position again. It's very advantageous if you're the poking team, because you have this, you know, shack to hide down behind. But here we go. The three assaults care not about advantages. They're just coming in. A-Stars lands the nice missile shot. Oh, getting chased from Zwei. Is he going to get picked off? No, a very clutch heal over here. Two fights happening at the same time. Famine doesn't want to die. Trying to get up here, trying to focus your dad and Tilter. They're saying, hey, there's only one assault, one recon. We're trying to push. Stoish goes down. T2 is really low, and it looks like PV Esports is actually going to be taking this. Ooh, Crater doesn't land, but they're that team fight heavily in favor of PV Esports, even though they might have been caught out of position. Really utilizing those three assaults effectively on a push is very difficult because you don't have a lot of time to really communicate and get in all at the same time.
Well, you said earlier that Dark Hour cares not about advantages, and that's really coming to hurt him because advantages are extremely important in this game. And when you're pushing in, especially against a team with a great recon such as Tilter, you really have to be careful because the team does have the advantage of having the positioning ready, and they can get those picks off and potentially kill you before you can even attack.
And one other thing to complement the poking power of PV Esports, well, actually, looks like Dark Hour got a few picks off, but Tilter, you said he was not running Decoy. That's because he's the other recon battle frame. He's running Supercharged Shot. You throw that on either Fumes or a Londar, you know, suddenly they have, you know, plus 50% DPS, and they're able to lay in a lot of poke damage at distance, and I think that's really setting them up. They're forcing Dark Hour to engage when they're not at full health, and that's really, really hurting them.
Yeah, Tilter has gotten a double damage again now. He's looking to get some recon picks off on T2. He has the Dark Hour, so a good headshot here is going to take out T2 from this fight, and it is going to give Dark Hour the chance to engage, and he actually gets the headshot off on T2, double damage. T2 goes down, and PV Esports is probably going to be looking to take advantage of this and make a push forward.
Absolutely, and recons with double damage, remember, they don't have to fight at long range. You swap to an assault rifle as a secondary, that thing hurts. Oh my god, Zwei again with the Crater kill and the execute on Tilter. He does pay for it with his life, but losing that poke advantage, PV Esports might be able to hang back a little bit. No, Alondar going in for that clutch triage, getting that fast revive off, cleaning up kills. PV Esports playing a very, very commanding game, showcasing, you know, the strengths of the poking and organized, you know, focus style, something that they weren't really able to show previously. And Dark Hour, you know, one of the teams we thought, or we know, a very strong team is not playing, I think, maybe as they should be against this style.
I think PV Esports is really playing the more measured, cautious, and deliberate style here, saying, okay, you took out a recon, you took out plan A, we'll just go to plan B, and if that doesn't work, they'll go to plan C. PV Esports really make every move is thought out before it happens. And Dark Hour, I think, was just hoping to use that forward pushing power of the three assaults to kind of run over PV Esports before they could get positioning, before they could use the poke. And we can see that hasn't worked for them, and they've realized that because T2 has switched to recon now and is engaging in recon fights with Tilter.
I think that is the right call. T2, one of the best recons in the game, and you know, 20 to 7 I think might be a little bit late for Dark Hour, but I think this was the correct choice. You know, this is also part of feeling out the matches. Feeling out matches today, feeling out, you know, your opponents, feeling out what strategies they might be using on this one map. A-Stars cleans up T2, but T2 did a lot of damage. You see Tilter is weak, A-Stars almost dead. Your dad is getting revived, actually. A very nice save from PV Esports. So they're able to pressure at long range, force control of an area, By forcing that control, they're able to get off those revives from their biotechs. And wow, look at that. Looks like Dark Hour had a complete wipe. They're not out of this. Remember, just, 3 more wipes. If you do it correctly, you can come back. It's never 3 points. It's always how many points can we get without dying. This is TDM.
Yeah, Tilter getting picked off by T2 in that last fight. And then, of course, PV Esports really overextending a little bit, going right in front of Dark Hour spawn. And Dark Hour sort of having an advantageous position there, giving Dark Hour the chance to make that wipe and potentially start a comeback here. PV Esports looks like they've gotten a little bit overconfident. A-Stars is actually getting chased down here. And PV Esports really looks a bit less organized than they did earlier in this match.
Yeah, you're seeing Dark Hour now doing the same thing. They're focusing so much harder. I'm watching them, just focus A-Stars instantly, focusing Fumes instantly, and look at that. They're so much more scattered. Stoius is just pushing Tilter. Famine playing that awesome support, getting those heals off. Zwei goes down, so they need to be careful about that. They don't want to lose that point. They can get a res off. No, it is not going to happen. It's 23-14, but they're really closing the gap over here, and they're getting all the heals that they need, and, PV Sports isn't focusing as much as they should be. A-Stars goes down despite the heals on him. Stoius is going to get picked off. Oh, and that's not good. Vantau and Stoius are both down. They need to get those picks up. If they get executed, that is going to be it. Yordad is trying to clean up one more kill. Will do it. Vantau is bleeding out, and he was already... No, Fan with the clutch revive. Really less than 1 second away from losing. 24-15. PV Esports is still heavily in favor, though.
Tilter has switched to Biotech, and I'm not sure that's a choice I really agree with. That gives T2 nearly uncontested recon control, but Vantau goes down, and it is going to be GG. So really, I think that turnaround, Dark Hour playing extremely well in those last few seconds, but they were too far behind at that point. They got maybe 3 or 4 kills for every death they had, but once you're down 20-7, that simply isn't enough anymore. And PV Esports basically crawling almost over the finish line, barely making it, thanks to that advantage they gained earlier in that match. So really, we can expect to see some more interesting things from these two teams. This was a fairly close game. It went both ways at certain points of the game, and I look forward to seeing that in the double elimination bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And those matches that aren't close, the matches that are 25 to single digit, if you have the ability to show that you can win a wipe, if you can go 5-0 against a team, you can beat them. It's just about consistency. It's about getting in position, relaying on your communication, experience playing against that style or that comp, or maybe you've practiced against that style, but you haven't played against 2 bios that focus quite as hard. You haven't played against bios that will healing wave you into one bio, and then the other bio will healing wave you, and then you get picked off by the recon because you didn't expect to be 20 feet in the air. These are the things that people are going to be experiencing, feeling out other teams. If you look at the kill count, actually, why did PV Esports win? Look at Alondar's revives. 7 revives. The kill count for both teams actually absurdly close. 27-24. If Dark Hour works on cleaning up kills, they may be able to really show a closer match than they did today.
I think we have to give Alondar credit, though. A bunch of beautiful clutch revives using that quick revive ability, and really taking advantage of the Biotech's healing abilities, being able to get those revives off even under heavy fire. That revive goes off so fast when you have the ability for it, and Alondar really showing how that provides an advantage.
Alright, so just going to give you guys a quick overview of how the brackets are standing currently. Going to go ahead and tab over to them in 1 second. Boom. So here you look at the scores for round 3. We have the extras versus Get Vexed. Get Vexed taking that pretty handedly, 25-7. Hubris over BRZ, 25-0. And we did watch PV Esports taking it over Dark Hour, 25-6. Pretty close match. Really something I'm looking forward to tomorrow in our double elim tournament. Let's go down and take a look at the standings right here. Hubris, yeah, everyone's 3-3. Some people are cleaning up matches. Set wins. Hubris on top with 3. Dark Hour did eating it against Hubris, going 2. PV Sports with 2. Vexed with 1-1. Extras, BRZ and the Herd with 0 wins. We're going to have that more fleshed out at the end of the tournament, of course. So let's go back over here, and we are going to be taking a short break. I think break for everyone, including the teams and myself. It will be most appreciated. We'll be back in roughly 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll be continuing on with rounds 4 to the end. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll be back shortly.
why the satchel still gets shot down. Let's take another look. All right, there's the satchel, and booyah! Good night.
PvP in Firefall is all about shooting somebody in the face.
Combat in Firefall feels sort of like the good old days, back when games took longer to kill each other, there were resources on the maps that mattered, the speed was a little bit higher, and I had to be more tactical. Games like, for example, Quake.
I also like to liken Firefall to Team Fortress 2 a little bit. The way that you can mix up your different classes, have a team composition that is different according to the different situation. I also really like to play a lot of Halo. I think that there's some comparison to be made because of the verticality that the jump jets lend to the game, except we're a lot faster than Halo. So I think that blends some of my most favorite things of other PvP games.
Well, at its core, Firefall is a shooter, and so in PvP, that's where that experience really comes to light.
We've worked really hard on making our PvP easy to learn and difficult to master so that we can appeal to all sorts of skill levels and really reward those people who are willing to put in the time to get really good.
You do not have to play PvP in Firefall. There's a large open world, there's a lot of dynamic content, on-demand player content, plenty of things to do. However, that is a lot of work, and players put a lot into their battle frames, and they can bring them to PvP where they really shine.
I think that the game is made in such a way that people will want to play the PvP element. It's so much fun, and like Justin just said, it really gives you an opportunity to take advantage of all the hard work you put into the open world.
But we also have to make sure that it remains competitive and balanced.
Red 5 is really special and excites me a lot in the fact that we are putting some attention into our esports features before the game is even fully out and live, which is amazing. You don't see that a lot in the game industry. We've already provided an esports toolkit which provides a broadcast mode and an observer mode, which makes the game so much fun to watch, which is really a key thing to esports. You want to be able to see your elite players playing at that elite level and have everybody be able to watch it and appreciate it.
And as we've seen in a lot of other games, the esports players, all their skills sort of trickle down, whether it's through streams or YouTube videos or whatever. It gives the lower skilled players a way to practice, a way to learn, and to elevate themselves.
In the future, we're looking forward to definitely putting some objective-based modes into our PvP experience. We think that'll help it with the esports. We know that'll
I'm James McCauley. I'm the Vice President of Development here at Red 5 Studios and unofficially the team cheerleader. I've been here since the beginning days, early 2006, and it's been an incredible journey to see the company grow and expand, and we're now at the point where we're nearing launch for Firefall. So when we announced Firefall, we also announced a very different development process for us, and it was one where we very much wanted to include and incorporate our community into the development of Firefall. A lot of gamers have asked us how they could support us. I think they've had so much fun that they want to support us, they want to support Firefall. They've been asking for months and months how they can do so, and now is finally an opportunity for them to do that. And we thought, what better way than to offer a Founders Pack that allows you to buy a little piece of history, to become a founding member, to have that name next to your character for life, to receive special goodies in-game, and to begin that ongoing relationship with Red 5 and with Firefall. Gamers should buy Founders Packages for multiple reasons. One, it's showing your support to Red 5 and for Firefall, and it's giving yourself an opportunity to really jump in and to contribute to the future of this game and this company. Well, so we started with one package. We wanted to give players an opportunity to support Red 5 and Firefall, but we also didn't want to exclude anyone. We wanted to give everyone an opportunity to jump in the water and to join us on this journey, and we wanted to open it up. At each increased tier, we provide a whole bunch of new stuff for you. If you purchase any of the 3 levels of Founder Packages, you will receive priority beta queuing. This means as we regularly send out new beta invites and try to grow the beta and invite new players to join us, you'll be at the front of the line. So if you're eager to get in and play Firefall, this is a great way for you to jump in front of the line and to join us in beta. At the base level of the Ensign, we offer you a whole bunch of in-game currency. We give you a special decal and founding member title. We also give you a Tiki mask because, you know, we're all about the Tiki theme, and we thought we'd share a very personal thing. This is not a Firefall theme, it's a Red 5 theme. And so you'll get a Tiki mask that you can actually equip on your character in-game and show off that you're a founding member. We also offer you a permanent 5% XP boost at Ensign, which we think is pretty cool. It's a way for us to say thanks for your support and to give you something cool for the lifetime of your character and your account. Moving on to the Lieutenant, we increase the amount of in-game currency you get. We have a special Lieutenant decal that will show up in-game. You can place it on your battle frame and look super cool. You can also sport it.
This is Accord Control. We are prepped for Space Fold. Initiate on Admiral's mark.
Initiating Space Fold on Admiral Nostromo's mark. 3, 2, 1.
Arclight, this is Accord Control. Do you copy? Arclight, are you there? Arclight, do you copy?
This is Nostromo. The jump failed. We're still in Earth orbit, but losing altitude rapidly.
Stand by, Arclight. We're scrambling rescue shuttles now. Just hold
There's
tight.
no time. Dr. Bathsheba reports we've lost all power to the orbital drive. I need you to project the Arclight's impact site. Begin ground evacuations and scramble disaster teams.
I can confirm that, Accord Control. Loss of orbit is irreversible. I'm ejecting the star chamber. It is critical that you recover it immediately.
Understood. Admiral, initial projections indicate a South Atlantic crash zone.
Control, divert the 3rd Fleet to the South Atlantic.
Yes, sir.
Bathsheba, can we re-trigger the arc drives?
No, there's some kind of external interference that's locking them up. I can try diverting power from weapons to the orbital thrusters. It'll give us a little control.
Do it. Maybe we can ditch in the Atlantic.
Sir, calculations are firming up. Looks to be Fortaleza, Brazil. Alerting authorities there. The casualties in the blast zone look to be close to 100%.
What? That can't be.
Orestes, is Amelia still living?
Bathsheba, get me those thrusters, now!
We've got a 5-second burn left at maximum power. That should get us clear of Fortaleza.
Negative, Arclight. If you ignite that burn, Sin is projecting a 95% chance you hit Rio.
Ready the burn. Give me manual control.
Sir, if you do that, 1.2 million people will die.
I'm well aware of that. Now give me control.
Orestes, you have full control.
Initiating burn in 5,
Arclight,
4, 3,
please, don't do this.
2.
All right, guys, welcome back. Hopefully you had a nice break. We will be jumping into the Herd versus Get Vexed. Of course, we do want to showcase all the teams that we have here today. So before we jump in, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Herd's player card right quick, and then we'll let you know a little bit more about them.
So the Herd is actually a community team. It's an army that started in Firefall, based, unsurprisingly, around the Herd of Ponies. So it's a My Little Pony group, and they're an army that's actually, after starting in Firefall, has expanded outside of Firefall. They play other games too now. I believe Guild Wars 2 is one of them, Minecraft, and it might be PlanetSide. I don't remember what the last one was. But they're a great community. If you're into My Little Pony and having fun with other people playing video games, do check them out. Nero, do you have their website?
theherdgaming.com. They got a few forums up there. So, you know what? If you're looking for people of that interest, you know, go check them out. They're not bad people. All right. And do you have the match ID for Vex versus the Herd? Bum, 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 bum. All right, Sam, I see it. Do you see it?
I am actually already in it.
Oh, fantastic. So let me jump back to the start real quick. And all right, let us sync in 3, 2, 1. And we are in game with no warm-up period. This is going to be Get Vexed on blue side versus the Herd on red team. Looks like Vex is pushing out into the bottom area spawn. A lot of teams favor doing this. A lot of teams have like a 50-50 split on taking the high ground or taking the low ground here.
Actually, really interesting. That side seems to have consistently chosen the low ground here, creating that split map situation that we see so often now. Both teams have one recon here, and it is going to look like they're going to play the poke and engage after pickoff style. So we can expect to see the two recons trying to kill each other and trying to pick off other players.
Yeah.
And really...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. All right, so the D was trying to pick off the other recon. It looks like Scarth was actually the first one to get picked off. So the Herd is actually the first one on the board, 1-0. The D is crowded, though. Rarity's getting cleaned up. Brezel's the D, and Terracon all almost go down at the same time. Looks like almost a full wipe coming from Vex. Honestly, not that surprising. They are the favorites here, but we're going to go ahead and see what's going to happen from the Herd. They have Apple Brain, Rarity, Terracon, who's actually been playing in the beta forever. Brezels, who's been playing in the beta forever, too. And the D is a new face to me. It looks like they're going to regroup near spawn and sort of figure out how they're going to attack.
Actually, very interesting. Both teams running very similar team comps. The Herd does have one more biotech instead of the engineer. That engineer on Vex running that supply station, playing that mix between sort of in between assault and biotech. So the Herd has a little bit more healing, has a little bit more poke, but also a little less upfront firepower. So Vex really taking advantage of that and going for those hard engages and just pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, and trying to take a group. Like, they haven't lost that many points. They should be able to get off this revive. Terracon actually executing his teammate. Did he get Sin Scramble? Does Narashi have Sin Scrambler on? He does. Ooh, a little bit mistake. That's something you have to worry about a little bit more in competitive play, is people actually use Sin Scrambler, and so many times you're just used to shooting, you know, the people with red names. Brezel, though, he has a red name to Vex, and he is getting focused down. His teammates have fallen before him. Looks like Hysterica taking him down with Hellraiser, landing a nice plasma hit on him, and now it is 7-1 despite the Herd's early lead of 1-0. Looks like they're getting cleaned up a little bit, but hopefully they'll be able to regroup, sort of establish a high ground and an attack path. They do have a recon. They can work recon angles if they're so inclined. Let's take a look at where Narashu is. Ooh, that's not going to work. Narashu has full sight of almost everything. Takes down Rarity along with Hysterica's help, and Hysterica looks like he's just establishing a nice NG position, uses the turrets to establish people in Sin, and then gets lasered and just pops him up straight for his recon friend Narashu, cleaning up with the assault rifle. Terracon trying to do a flank on Narashu, almost happening but not quite. Unfortunately, there's no team backup for him. 11-0 for Vex.
We've been seeing a little bit of that same recon positioning that we saw from Superior when his team was in a very similar situation, the Extras. When the enemy team is in spawn, you as recon have the advantage of being able to position yourself anywhere on the map while still getting most angles of where the enemy team could be or could approach from. So really, that once your team is pushed in spawn, the other team, in this case Vex, has that advantage of being able to engage when they want. They have plenty of room to fall back on, and they have the advantage of being able to hide their recon all over the map. And Vex Gaming has been taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm going to hop ahead straight to the overhead view. We are seeing the D sort of fight Narashu. Narashu does actually have double. Going to hop over to him, using Decoy to get away. He's got to watch out, though. The D on the low ground doesn't have a line of sight on him. Looks like Narashu is trying to make the best of his double safely to actually just get up to the high ground and see what he can do from there. Not sure if he quite needs to. Applebrain sitting in spawn, waiting for the D. I'm not sure if he actually went AFK. That would be pretty unfortunate. Crashes are a very, very rare occurrence, but unfortunately they do happen sometimes. You will rejoin the match, which is fantastic. And Terrycon is going to be the next one to get focused. We'll see if the D is the next one on Vex's kill radar. 17-1, trying to see who has the kill. Terrycon has the kill. The D maybe not doing a little bit more support. Unfortunately, it's hard to say without that many numbers on the board.
Well, really, it does look like Applebrain has crashed. He's been standing in spawn there for a while. And really, that takes away the one advantage that the Herd had in this, which was that they do have the additional sustain, so they can keep up those poke fights longer. They're also, of course, losing a lot of their damage, and Applebrain is actually back in the match. But as I said, they lost a lot of their damage for a large portion of that match, because biotechs do deal damage nowadays, and they are important to have. So he's back now, but I think now that it's 19-1, it might be a little bit too late to actually recover from this.
Yeah, and it's 22-1. Just going to run down a bit on the kills. Scarth and Hellraiser playing assaults, really 8 kills each. They're, you know, the workhorse. They're the chasers. They're the finishers. Here we go. The D goes down. It's going to be 23-1. Using Scattershot smartly to finish them up does a little bit more damage than your assault rifle. Only takes 2 Scattershots to get the execute. Scarth is trying to pick off who he can. His cooldowns are up. Immediately uses Shockwave straight on cooldown reset. Very nice play from Scarth. 23-1. And now Spiffy is just chasing Applebrain. Scarth trying to see who he can pick off, and that is going to be it. Hellraiser gets the finishing kill on Terrycon 4. Vex Gaming takes it 25-1. You know, just really, I guess, outplaying the Herd. Again, community tournament, community team. Unfortunately, we thought we'd have a few more community teams, so stuff like this didn't happen. Unfortunately, round 4 is the round where all the good teams play against the more community-oriented teams. But in round 5, we'll be moving on to, I think, one good match. So stay tuned for that, and we will be back shortly. One second, guys, while we find out which match will have the most entertainment for your viewing. All right, we are going to be jumping into Dark Hour versus Hubris. It should be a very skilled match. Not sure if it'll be balanced, but should be a very good match. Sam, let me know when you are in the game, and then we'll go ahead and start that broadcast.
1 second. I am just getting the match ID for this.
No problem.
And getting into the replay. Again,
thank Bloody Kulati for doing our interviews. We'll be playing a few more after 1 or 2 matches, and then Punk, Jay Lazy, Leap, and everyone else involved with Vex. This is helping put the back end together. Is unfathomably helpful. It really is. Let me know when you're in the game, and we'll get this started. To go over these teams again, on Team Hubris, we have Chump, Coolmat, Meta, Razex, and Tarza. And for Dark Hour, we have T2, Stoish, Famine, Von Tao, and Zweihandler.
I am ready to go, so let's get this started.
All right, I am playing. Let us sync the match in 3, 2, 1, 0, and here we go. Let's give us... Ooh, Tarza might actually be playing Dread. It might be a fake out, but I'd love to see some teleport shot. Here we go. The match has begun. Gonna focus on Tarza. Most importantly, here he goes. Teleport shot. Oh, no. Ah, he faked even me out. He's swapping straight to Assault. We're not going to see any teleport shot shenanigans. Looks like you're going to be taking Dark Hour a little bit seriously. Looks like, again, that side taking the bottom spawn. It seems to be very favored spawning on that side. Here we go. T2 actually getting lit up by Coolmat first. This is going to be a very intense sniper battle. Tarza trying to do some damage over here, forcing the team to go left. T2 taking some hits. T2 almost down. Meta closing the gap. Very nice job. You saw... Coolmat keeping T2 pinned. Meta ran the flank, immediately cleaned up as soon as he went into cover. Very nice play. Meta landing some hits on Stoish. Is he going to get the kill? One more splash. Almost dead. Stoish does go down. Take a look at Famine. Go ahead.
We can see here why these teams are running so much Assault. The mobility that Assaults provide right now is just so flexible, and they can deal the damage they need to. As long as you avoid getting hit, and as long as you have the element of surprise, really the disadvantage of Assault, the low hit points, isn't too severe. We saw here Tarza was able to do the normal Assault poke while Meta just ran the flank route, and after that they could just form up again and form a cohesive team for the inevitable team fight that would occur afterwards. So we can really see here how the Assault mobility really plays into these compositions, and why the Dreadnought has become a little less popular as of late.
Now we see Stoius massively overextending. There's no way he's getting out of that alive. Or is he? I don't believe it. He actually does. Afterburner, pretty good ability. Focusing coming down from Meta and Razex. Ooh, now he does go down. Looks like Stoish is the one. Tarza finishing that up with Meta. Double is up. Who is going to get it? Is it going to be a recon? No, Meta grabs it. He says, alright, Zwei is shooting me. I know you're over there. Let me clean up the kill. I've got double. I got Chump on my back. I got Razex. I got 2 great bios and a great recon to support me. I'm just going to push in, pick off who I can. There's 1 hit on Zwei. Needs 1 more hit. Oh my god, gets away. Ooh, a nice missile shot. There comes the double. Chump. Oh, he does not help enough. Meta gets taken down. Double Force, not a super good buff. Wait, what am I talking about? Double's a great buff. It does have a negative, though. You will take 1.5 times more damage while you have it on, so it's not all good. Coolmat taking down T2 once again. Looking at the score, 8-0. A lot of good team play, but not very balanced so far.
Dark Hour, despite the look of the scoreboard, is actually playing extremely well. We can see here in those fights, they're doing their dance. They're playing well. They are a cohesive team, but Hubris just has a leg up on them. Hubris knows what they're expecting. They're not letting time get off those craters that he needs to in order to get those picks off, and they're just overall outplaying Dark Hour just by a little bit. And in Firefall TDM esports, at least, even when you just have a little bit of an advantage at a high level, the smallest advantage is going to manifest itself in a huge score difference.
Yeah, it's going to compound on itself. That little advantage is always going to be there and build and build and build and build. What you said about Zwei, though, I didn't take a look at his skills. I'm looking at them now. Cannonball, Afterburner, Crater. He's not rocking the poke and burst abilities at range that almost all the assaults are running. Take a looking at Meta. He's going to get picked off here if he's not careful. Ooh, a nice Afterburner to get away. Turns around, gets healed, pushes in, says, okay, I want to control his health. Bam, gets hit. There's a Shockwave, almost down. No good. Healing Pillar, is he going to risk it? No. Meta backs off wisely. He says, look, my Afterburner's on cooldown. I'm not willing to risk going around that corner and dying. I can't get revived there. I won't go there. Coolmat now with double, looking to try and pick off who he can. trying to cover the other side's 11-0. Coolmat 3-1. The kills really spread out for Hubris right here. Zwei with the kill, Stoich with the kill for Dark Hour, trying to get one more pick. Coolmat trying to get a pick. Double is out. Oh no, I take that back. Double is still good. Not rocking Satchel, so he has to land his recon shots. Stoich does go down now. There's the execute from Coolmat. A nice shot on Famine, taking him down. It is 5-3, and no doubt Hubris is going to push this
Beautiful team fight actually going on here. Hubris just pushing forward slowly, dealing that damage, and just gradually pushing further and forward, eventually just overrunning Dark Hour. T2 has actually switched to an Assault now. Dark Hour has realized that they can't win those sniper battles against Coolman, and now they're trying the full frontal Assault comp, literally Assault comp. And really, Hubris just knows how to play against this. They're poking at it, they're falling back, they're taking advantage of that double damage, and they're using that double damage with Coolman getting the jump on them to then engage. At this point, Dark Hour, we can see, is in spawn. Vangto is going down again. Famine has gotten picked off again. And at this point, Dark Hour is just in a position where they don't have anywhere to move. They don't have the mobility to actually avoid all these attacks coming out constantly from Hubris. So we're once again in that position where one team has managed to trap the other in spawn, and therefore has a major advantage. Really going back to the snowbally nature of Firefall TDM right now, where advantages do compound themselves, and now that Hubris has Dark Hour in their spawn, there's not really a lot that Dark Hour can do.
Yeah, and we're seeing 22 now to 0. Razex and Chump really not letting their teammates die. Razex is down and gets 1 point on the board, 1-22. Unfortunately, they're going to need 24 more. Soyuz gets picked off once again, and we are seeing T2 down as well. One more kill will do it. There's the cleanup. We are going to see a 25-1 victory for Hubris over Dark Hour. Very impressive. Wow, Tarza with 11 kills, no deaths, playing Assault along with Meta. Very good job. You saw him helping out Meta with the assist, Tarza with the kills, Tarza being a dirty kill stealer as usual. Nothing has really changed. Soyuz getting some kills out. I really think, though, Zwei not having the poke ability, you have to rely on Crater to get your kills, and that's not going to work nearly as well against a very good organized team. They're going to be sitting in all directions, they're going to be looking in all directions, and they know Zwei likes the Crater. So you're going to have your recon in a position to counter that. So
well, it's interesting because that's actually the exact same build that he was using throughout this match, and we saw in previous matches it was working extremely well for Dark Hour, getting those surprise picks off. But as you said, Hubris is just organized. They knew that the Crater was coming, so they just didn't let it catch them by surprise. And if your Crater doesn't catch someone by surprise, at that point you're just, well, you lose 2 of your abilities going in for the Crater. You lose the third one, leaving the Crater. He was using Cannonball generally to try and get away after those Craters happen. And after that, there's just not a lot you can do. In this high-level PvP, the burst abilities are just so important. And once the Crater is gone, all of your burst is gone. And if you miss the Crater, well, then there's just not a lot left.
It seems the match that we wanted to cast has finally started. Vex Gaming versus PV Esports. Sam, if you go ahead and pop in the match ID list, you'll be able to pull that right up pretty quick. I believe it just started 1 minute ago, so we're going to hop into that when you are ready, and this should be a good match. So let me know when you're ready.
Expect a much closer match for this
one.
Oh
yeah, I think so.
Than for previous matches.
Absolutely. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to cast this match, of course, not only because Vex and PV Sports are solid teams, but because I think it's going to be a close and good match. We're going to see a lot of positioning. Again, best of 1 round robin. This is Shantytown. This is for seeding for tomorrow's tournament at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Same time, double Elim tournament. We are giving away, I believe, close to $1,000 in Steam prizes. So congratulations to teams 1, 2. I'm not exactly sure how the prizes are going to play out, but it should be excellent games tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get some closer matches as well. And the teams will really, we saw Dark Hour really adapt to the playstyle of their opponents. Are they going to mix it up? Are other teams going to mix it up? Are they going to find their groove? They're going to, have more time tonight and tomorrow morning to figure out what exactly they want to be doing to counteract the play and compositions of the other teams. Should be, I think, even better matches tomorrow. So let me know when you're loaded and we'll go ahead and start. Awesome, fantastic. Let's go ahead and sync up in 3, 2, 1, boom. And let us hop into game. There we go. Loaded, no warm-up. It looks like Alondar is going to be pushing out.
It does not look like my sync worked, or it did work, but it's a lot after yours. So
okay, let's do it one more time then. 3, 2, 1, boom. That key does take us straight to the start of the match, and let me know
I am good, so let's get this started.
All right, fantastic. Go ahead and run down our team comp for us, and this match is going to be pretty important for these two teams fighting each other.
So on Vex Gaming, we have Hellraiser, Hysterica, and Rashu, Scarth, and Spiffy1. They're running 2 Assaults, a Recon, an Engineer, and a Biotech. I believe it is a composition we have seen before. Running that Engineer as sort of a hybrid between an Assault and a Biotech. The other team not opting for that, going for 2 Biotechs, A-Stars, Alondra, Fumes, Tilter, and Your Dad, actually running a Dreadnought here. So 1 Assault, 2 Biotechs, a Recon, and a Dreadnought. So we'll see how this plays out against this more Assault-based composition from Vex Gaming.
And I'm seeing Your Dad flying a bit too high. Hellraiser gets away, but he will be able to be revived. He's in a very smart spot. A-Stars is actually the first one to get picked off. It looks like Vex Gaming has an early 2-0 lead against PV Esports.
Yeah, so we actually saw here already immediately the reason why the Dreadnought isn't that popular. Essentially, you're a slow-flying boat, except that you're a boat that can get headshotted, and that looks like is somewhere along what happened. Dreadnoughts have a lot of HP, but Recons deal a lot of damage, and Dreadnoughts are exceptionally easy to hit.
And A-Star's putting his team on the board with a nice mid-air missile shot on Scarth, taking him down. He's a bit low on health. He needs to get back to Fumes or Alondar to get healed. A-Star's still alive, trying to get as much damage as he can, and unfortunately gets picked off by Nrashu. Let's take a look at where he is doing that low ground support. Gets a headshot on Fumes from cross map. Very nice from him. And if they're able to push this, A-Stars is just coming out of spawn, and Vex Gaming might be able to get a wipe if they play this smartly.
Actually, the other team really coming out of spawn and coming back in force. This problem that will just continually going on. Teams respawning and going back in. It looks like it's calming down a little bit now, but no one really came out too far ahead there. It's still 3-2. There are some people down on Vex Gaming, so we'll see if they can get the revives off. And now it's actually become 4-3. So the fight really going either way. Neither team having enough time to regroup and make some sort of concentrated push.
Yeah, I'm really seeing each team kind of like poking with their assault. Like Hellraiser, you see pushing in. Ooh, Hellraiser gets taken down though by A-Stars. A-Star I think has the most kills this game. Yes, 4-2. Rashu playing supportive Recon 3-0. A-Stars though doing a good job of dying for his team, 4-3. But he is getting those points in. He's getting those picks off. He's playing very well. Your Dad running over here trying to protect his teammate. He's like, all right, can I revive A-Stars? No, I can't. He got executed. There's a teleport shot from Your Dad trying to get in, using the absorption bomb to great effect. Says, hey, you know what? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna push this button not to die. Gets out of the way. Gonna need a heal from his team. No, not happening. A nice cleanup from Nrashu's going, you know what? I have my recon rifle and I have my assault rifle. Guess what's better at close range?
For kills here, essentially. They're trading health, and it's extremely difficult for either team to actually make something of an advantage out of this. Right now, PV Esports is trying to push over the top a little bit, but Your Dad isn't in position right now. Scarth is coming around from below. Both teams just trying to outflank each other, and it's not really happening for either team at the moment. Hellraiser goes down, but he should be in a revived position, except that PV Esports is pushing forward, and Scarth trying for the flank is actually out of position to help them. So it looks like PV Esports are going to push forward and actually probably get a full wipe here.
Yeah, exactly what you said. With the running the flank, you have to be really, really careful. I'm going to hop over to Fumes real quick. He's got double on, trying to save Ace with the heal. There comes the heal from Alondar. A-Stars is still good, and they're not focusing on Fumes. He is the problem. He has double. He cleans up, you know, finishes up, gets the res. Ooh, nice Thunderdome res, getting that up, healing his teammate. And guess what? They got almost a full wipe. It's 10-7 in favor of PV Esports, and they're all fully stocked at full health.
Yeah, they're controlling the positioning of the double damage as well. It's going to be a while before that goes up again, but if they can maintain that position, they can put it on the recon, put it on an assault, and make another push. Vex Gaming now regrouping in spawn. They know they have to be careful. They now know for certain that they can be wiped. They can probably wipe PV Esports as well. We saw the closeness of the teams in that huge brawl happening in the center. But really, both teams now have to be cautious because these fights can go either way. And as we said before, advantages compound, so once one person gets picked off, one reckless move can lead to your entire team getting wiped.
And we see Hellraiser trying to be the initializer. Oh, tries to do a point-blank missile shot on the bio. Not going to happen. Hellraiser needs to be careful. A lot of focusing coming down from that biotech, and Your Dad on the high ground. Hysterica trying to play at max range. Will move back, gets a heal. The turret's on top, doing a good job of sitting people, keeping Your Dad off of that high ground. Hysterica trying to push as much as he can. Looks like they're moving the fight back down. Looks like PvE Sports says, okay, we have control of double. We're gonna have control of double. We're gonna have either Fumes or Tilter grab it. Tilter's double checking on it, double checking on the double. Double is up. He has to be really careful he doesn't get picked off by Narashu. Here comes the thing. They're actually not going to go ahead and use double unless he grabbed it. Fumes coming in, trying to kill Spiffy1, landing those needles as best he can. Spiffy1 trying to get back to his team.
Tilter hits Enrashu, but Enrashu hits back at the headshot off. And with the 1.5 damage taken from the double damage, Enrashu actually does take out Tilter. And that is going to be big for Vex. As they are now pushing forward, they have the man-up advantage. And they're going to try and go for a wipe here.
Yeah, I saw Scarth clean up. Fumes is dead. Fumes is being cleaned up. Your Dad is down. The only person up I see around is A-Stars, and 1 or 2 more shots will take him out. Grabs the health, using the Afterburner to get away. Scarth is trying to push up, but all his cooldowns are up. He says, okay, back away. I saw another player. 11-11, a very close match happening on Shantytown right here. Take a look at the scoreboard. A-Star 6-4, Scarth 6-3, Narashu being really supportive 5-1. We're not seeing a lot of stuff from Tilter, and Tilter is actually swapped to Assault instead of Recon. He says, I'm not going to play that game anymore. We're going to need our burst, and we want to move in and be aggressive.
Yeah, PvE Sports noticing that advantage of the 2 assaults is giving Vex Gaming that extra mobility they have. The Dreadnought being extremely effective, but they do fulfill very different roles, and to a certain extent, that assault has been fairly necessary for the team comps on both sides. PvE Sports actually pushing forward here, killing some people in Vex Gaming, but both sides taking heavy losses. It looks like PvE Sports is going to come out ahead here in this exchange. Nearly a complete wipe, and that will give PvE Sports the chance to take control of the double damage again, and the double damage is about to get up, so Vex Gaming on a little bit of a back foot here.
Yeah, we saw some really cool play. You're seeing Your Dad land, a teleport shot on people, getting into that NG's face, crossing some of the map. Scarth is trying not to get picked off. Hellraiser comes in to try and body block A-Stars, though, falling in pursuit. Will be able to get Scarth. No, a clutch Afterburner straight into the container. Will get him out of there. Unfortunately, Fumes does fall instead. Hellraiser trying to go against A-Stars. There to the Afterburner. Does the double juke on the ground.
Tilter actually taking out Enrashu. Enrashu did manage to snatch the double damage away from PvE Sports, but Tilter chased him down, using that assault, not giving him the chance to get any of those recon shots off, and turning the tide of the game. So, not really in the center of the fight, not really apparent, but Tilter actually, in a way, giving PvE Sports that fight by actually taking out Enrashu and preventing that double damage from being used.
Yeah, and they've really, really widened the score gap now. It's 20-12. You see A-Stars and Tilter coming up, both with a lot of kills. Tilter, though, got 6 kills out of nowhere, and playing, importantly, those supportive kills, whereas you kill the recon, you sort of enable your team to get the other 4 kills. Landing a nice combo over here, Shockwave doing it in. A-Star is trying to chase as best he can. Now Spiffy's getting lit up. Hellraiser is down. They are both down. It's going to be 22-12 in just 1 second. Scarth is out of position and nowhere near being able to escape. Unfortunately, Tilter's going to clean that up if he gets the splash. One more splash will do it, Tilter. There we go. No, misses, just on the edge. Gonna take a look at Hellraiser. He needs to come in and support his team if he doesn't want them to wipe. Unfortunately, so many people are down. 13-22. Scarth going for the revive. Is he going to get it? No, he gets splashed immediately. Says, I need to get out of there. Tilter's the one he has to deal with. Nice missile shot. Does not land the follow-up. Hysterica actually gets the kill somehow. This is a repair station. Hellraiser is just not dying, and he's near spawn. I don't understand.
We're seeing that position again. One team stuck in the spawn. They have nowhere left to run, and it does look like this game is about to end. All of Vex Gaming extremely low, and Rashu is about to go down. Hellraiser's about to get down. It's just a question of who's going to go down first at this point.
I can't believe they haven't died yet. Oh no, Hellraiser is the first to go down. One more cleanup will do it. Alondra, you should be focusing the body. It's all you need to win. Come on, come on, come on. Instead, they're going to wait for him to bleed out. Trying to get a few more kills. Looks like they're not going for the exact cleanup. 17-14 though. Oh, Hellraiser. Oh, almost got revived. They tried to fight it out. I'm surprised PvE Sports didn't immediately go after that kill. But a very good match. We saw wipes from both teams. We saw smart positional play. We saw pokes. We saw people not wanting to deal with pokes and going assault. Tilter, his switch looks like it paid off. 10 and 3 KD. A lot of assists for the entire team. Not as many assists for Spiffy. on Hellraiser, but it looks like he did pay his ends with 3 revives. But Alondar, again, the revive master, 8 revives. The kill count at the end, actually the same, 28-28. Talk about a balanced match. The thing that differentiated them, smart play from your dad covering those revives, Alondar getting those reses up when he needed to. So 28-28. If Vex plays a smarter game, I think they could definitely take it.
And I'm sure the teams will be watching these replays tonight, if not watching the VODs from the tournament. And they will look at these and they will try to fix them. So we can, I guess, look forward to another rematch tomorrow. I think the list of matches we want to see tomorrow is steadily growing. And this is going to be one that probably could happen in one of the later stages of the tournament. Both of these teams doing very well. Both of these teams could get far. And really a close match that could have gone either way, with PV Esports just slowly and methodically taking the advantage later during the match.
The thing I want to bring up is you see Hellraiser going 1-10, but he has 11 assists. This doesn't mean Hellraiser sucks. What it means is he is the force that is opening up opportunities to get kills. So when you see wipes happen, you saw him play very, very aggressive. I've never seen Assaults play this. As they go up to the tall shack on Shanty, they know they're in position. They say, all right, I'm going to missile shot. I'm going to pop these people on the other side up so my recon can shoot them, or they get out of position. So he's playing very dangerously. Maybe if he tones it back a little bit, I mean, sure, he has 11 assists, so he did his job, but knowing when to use Afterburner to die in a smart spot. Like, you have Hysterica. If Hysterica swaps Boomerang Shot, because you have the damage output, right? You have your recon, you have your 2 assaults. If you swap to shield, you might be able to get more revives off, and that might have been the difference this game. All right, so we are going to be checking out which match to move on to next. I will update you guys with the bracket in just 1 second, so you can have a look at that while I figure out what is going on. All right, and here you can see our match history from today so far in the round robin. Hubris versus the Extras 25-0, Vex versus Herd 25-1, Dark Hour versus BRZ 25-3. And the match that we watched, PV Esports versus Get Vex, PV Esports did take it 25-17. A very close match. One, I think, even if you play Firefall, check out that match ID after the broadcast and really watch and try and get as much as you can out of that. There was a lot going on in that match that can be applied to playing Firefall more competitively. So make sure you check that out. We'll have the match IDs after the tournament, maybe even today. No promises though. The Extras over the Herd 25-5, Hubris over Dark Hour 25-1, and I think we have 2 more rounds left for today, and then we'll let you guys know the seeding for tomorrow. It is I think a 6-man tournament, double elim. And the prizes, again, remember, almost $1,000 in mostly Steam games, from what I understand. So make sure you tune back tomorrow. We have 2 more rounds today, and we'll be back shortly getting you the next match. Thanks. All right, guys, we will have. I'm going to go ahead and play 2 interviews while we wait for some of the matches to figure out where they're at. Bloody Kulati is our Battlefield correspondent for today, as you can see, and we have 2 interviews lined up for you here. One is from Pyra from Team BRZ, and the other is from Meta, who you saw playing Assault very well, who is on Hubris. Enjoy.
Hey there, everyone. Bloody Kulati back again with another interview. This time I'm joined with Meta from Team Hubris, and I got a couple questions for you. So, you guys renamed the team from ABC to Hubris. What does Hubris stand for, or is there like a meaning behind it? And was ABC just a temporary name?
Yeah, ABC was just kind of like us throwing it out there, really. It was kind of a temporary thing. But Hubris is sort of a known name in some other communities, so we've kind of stuck with that. And basically it means like extreme pride or arrogance, which is kind of ironic because everyone on the team is nothing like that. So this is kind of a funny team name for us to go with, really.
Nice. So you guys are a bit of a favorite going into this tournament, seeing as to how you guys dominated in the Brontodon Brawl 2. How do you guys stay motivated and willing to continue to play at such a high level?
Well, basically, we kind of just strive to stay humble, I guess, and just do our best. And like, you know, if you're at the top, or if you're a top tier team in any game, I think this goes for anything in life even. And if you're at the top of something, sometimes it's hard to, you know, stay humble or like stay sort of competitive, and you know, you don't want to be in that mindset where, oh, you know, I'm the best, you know, what's the point in playing, like blah blah blah. Like you want to keep practicing and just like just have something to strive for. So pretty much just like staying true to like, you know, whatever.
Definitely agree. So, you guys can also catch Meta. He usually streams pretty consistently as well. He's one of the top tier players. He streams. What's your schedule? Do you even have a set schedule, or do you just stream when?
Not really. I just stream whenever right now. I mean, when I do stream, it's usually around like 5 p.m. in the day, Pacific. But yeah, it's kind of just whatever at this point. Waiting for Firefall to get a bit bigger.
Nice. So yeah, you guys can check out Meta at twitch.tv/meta. Am I correct?
Twitch.tv/SoMeta.
Awesome. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much for being a part of this tournament. I'm sure we're all looking forward to you guys doing your best. So I want to wish you guys luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I definitely support what you guys are doing too, with like the whole Vex tournament and all that, and what you guys are doing. So it's good stuff. You know, this is like these community tournaments and starting from the ground up. This is kind of like the grassroots to get the community bigger and stuff. So this is kind of like, you know, starting in the trenches.
Hey there, everyone. This is Bloody Kulati. Today I'm joined with Pyra from Firefall.pl and also
Hello.
Team Captain from Team BRZ.
Hello, everyone.
So, Pyra, how excited are you and your team for taking part in this event?
To be honest, we treat this tournament as a test of our skills. All of our players are people who have already been in beta for almost a year, and we doesn't play as often as we used to. As you probably know, it's quite difficult to find a match in some hours, especially finding opponents to challenge. But in the future, when the game comes out of the beta, we'll be planning to regularly take part in such events.
It's definitely a bit of a challenge right now to get some practice in before the tournaments, but hopefully you guys will do great. I wish you guys Povozenia. I think you guys will do great in this tournament.
Oh, thanks.
So, Pyro, what motivated you and your team to sign up for the tournament?
I remember when our whole community was the first Brontodon Brawl and immersed in our TeamSpeak channel during the match. Unfortunately, we missed the second brawl as a team, but this time we're going to show you some more skills. Personally, I'm a gamer who tries to drive the PvP play in the Polish stage, and I hope these events will lead to increase its popularity.
Yeah, we definitely want to get a lot more players involved in the PvP aspect of Firefall, so that's definitely something great that you guys are doing over at firefall.pl.
Thanks, PvP is especially a good aspect of the game, and we want to see more of this.
So Pyro, for those fans of Firefall that don't speak Polish, what does your team name mean?
Yeah, I can pronounce it to you, but I would love to hear it from you. Or team name.
All right, I'll give it a shot. Go ahead and you say it first, and then I'll repeat it.
Okay, it's called Brzęczyszkiewiczowie. Now your turn.
Brzęczyszki. Oh man.
Okay, now it's fine.
Brzęczyszkidowia?
It was close. But some Polish would be understand it.
I'm gonna have to work on that one.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Thanks, Bloody Kaladi, for being our Battlefield correspondent and updating our score brackets as we go. We are going to be moving on to PvE Sports versus the Herd. Shortly, I wanted to give a shout out to a few people in the Firefall community. One of the main people is 8-Bit Tavern. They've been running the Firefall Friday night Firefall. So you guys can join them up. Hit them up on Twitch. They're doing a good job over there promoting what they can. The Sambasti, who is joining me today, is from Limelight Esports, and Limelight Esports is shining a spotlight on the Firefall esports scene. They got some analysis stuff, they got some videos up, explaining what exactly is Firefall, what are the battle frames, what are the differences between like the tier 1 and tier 2 battle frames, what do all these abilities do. Like, there's a lot to get into if you're coming in new from the game. What else? Firefall itself, Red 5 Studios puts on every week, starting next week. So on January 11th, on Friday, you guys can tune in to Firefall Live. They have their 2 community managers, Phobos and Faded Pez, usually joined by their event MC, Tony Ray, also known as the Ches. And they join in, they get a developer, they talk about some stuff, they highlight things from the community. And it's pretty cool. It's usually, I think, 1 or 2 hours, and it's a pretty cool thing to watch. And let's not forget Punk from Brontodons. You can check him out at brontodon.com. Sort of, I think, the Firefall fan site. There's a lot of blog stuff. There's a lot of content. Of course, we've done, Brontodon Brawl, Brontodon 2. Sambasti's done the Limelight tournament. And now Vex is getting into it with the Vex the Legends tournament. And I think it's a great start to 2013. Look forward to a lot more things from all of these communities and people, coming just into the game for the first time. There's going to be a lot more content coming right out for that. So let's go ahead and pop into the Herd versus PvE Sports in just 1 second. Sam, you have that match ID?
I am looking for it in the observer screen right now.
You can get it off the Google Doc, actually. Just go ahead, copy paste that.
I guess that would be easy.
Yeah, nice and easy. Many thanks to BK again. It's actually like really cool that we can do that. It's just, you have this match ID and like you copy paste it and you watch it. Like, how great is that? Seriously. Like, you don't need to share files. You don't need to do any of that. All right. So let's go ahead and sync up. Are you ready? Let me know when you're loaded in.
Okay, I am ready.
All right, well, let's go ahead and sync our replays up in 3, 2, 1. And I believe we're going to have a little bit of warm-up time while we wait for these players to filter in. Tilter being cute, picking Dreadnought along with your dad. Probably not what they're going to run. This is, again, the Herd versus PvE Sports. PvE Sports showing a very good game previously. And the Herd hopefully will be showing a better game. They've had, a few games to warm up. And I think that's true for everyone, is people who haven't played as much, I wouldn't say, yeah, I guess competitive PvP, right? It's more structured. It's a real 5v5. You know, it takes a bit of getting used to. Like these things that you can get away with don't work anymore. So let's go ahead and look at the team comp for both of these teams this match as soon as the round starts, because I don't think they're gonna rock 2 dreads. Or I'm completely mistaken and they will rock 2 dreads. Sam, are you here?
I am here.
All right.
I am still being mystified about these 2 dreadnoughts. So,
so that's stunned, huh?
Not taking this match too seriously by the look of it. 2 dreadnoughts is going to mean they don't have a lot of long-range firepower. They have 2 biotechs, and that's basically all the long range they have. They do have the healing from 2 biotechs, and it looks like their engineer is running a flank, so we can look for that to actually do some damage. The Herd running a much more standard composition, 2 assaults, 2 biotechs, and 8 recon.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that they're not taking it seriously. Matches like this, you know, with sometimes how difficult it is to get a good match going, to try an alternate strategy on this map can be very, very valuable. They can sort of find out the holes on what they're doing, find out if this works, find out if they're lacking too much, and they don't have to take, you know, a complete loss against a good team. They can sort of feel it out.
Yeah, they are certainly probably looking to experiment a little bit here. Actually, they might be taking this super seriously and just whipping out a new strategy for the sake of surprise. I'm pretty certain that the Herd has not practiced against a 2 dreadnought composition. That is something that is totally new. And it does have the advantage of giving PV Esports a ridiculous amount of upfront firepower. And they are looking to use that. They've roamed all the way across the map now, and now they're roaming back across the map. So they're just going to keep pushing and pushing and keep pushing at the Herd.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you know, they have 2 dreads, and dreads have a lot of health, they have a lot of defensive abilities. Stacked up with 2 bios and an engineer for close range damage, you know, it might be completely viable. It's just something we haven't seen in forever, because usually that there's not 2 dreadnoughts on a team, you know?
Well, it does seem to be working for PV Esports. They're up quite a few points now. The damage on the dreads just being ridiculous. Not really a lot of things the Herd can do against that. I mean, they do still have the 2 biotechs, so even if the Herd gets some shots off, they're just going to get healed.
Yeah, and Rarity actually picked up the double using the grenade launcher. If you do get a direct hit with a double grenade launcher, I think it does like 1200 damage or something completely ridiculous. So that's something not to be counted out. Of course, it is very hard to land the grenade. We are seeing PV Esports move in and just control, I guess, sort of focusing at close range. Terrycon's floating a little bit too much, not able to dodge or get around corners, gets picked off over there. Apple Brain goes down. There comes a revive. No good. Alondar with a very nice heal wave to push back that triage. Unfortunately, still goes down. Alondar trying to get away. Will he get away? No, no good. A nice Thunderdome from his teammate would have saved him there, but no good. The Herd picks up a few points, and now it's 1-14. Alondar is probably going to bleed out. Let's take a look at Tilter, the other Dreadnought for PV Esports over here, pushing the recon as best he can. Teleport shot, very nice. No trap on the Thunderdome, a little bit too slow.
But the D actually juking really well, using getting the health pack, just getting out completely, demonstrating sort of the downside of that assault. Of that Dreadnought composition. You mentioned earlier the insane damage from the grenade launcher when you have double damage. Well, that's one of the little benefits of having this Dreadnought-based comp. You can get hit in the face by a double damage grenade launcher, and the Dreadnought will survive. A lot of other classes would just flat out die from that.
Yeah, and you know, we're seeing some more active use of Thunderdome. 1-17 right here. They need the Herd needs to really get it close together if they want to narrow this gap some. It's 2-17. Actually, they have a lot more kills than you'd imagine, but just the revives are coming up from PV Esports. Again, Alondar, no doubt responsible for many of those.
Yeah, that revive focus composition has been working out extremely well for them. Getting those revivals, I think, has won the multiple games at this point. Just always being consistent about reviving teammates and always reviving extremely well. Not really something that's unique to their team composition, but just something that this team has done extremely well over the course of this tournament.
And now Rarity got caught out of position, but I do want to say that Rarity's doing a very good job using that grenade launcher as support. That's something we haven't seen BIOS use too much. It's a very valuable, asset to have working across these ridges on Shanty. You know, you can fire over so many objects. You can spam grenades down on the low ground over here. It's something we haven't seen teams, I guess, need to use. It's always cool to see. Brezel's landing a very nice Shockwave on Ace, almost max damage. Shockwave does do more damage the farther away that you hit it. Ace Stars does go down. Looks like the D finishing him up. Gotta be careful though. Tilter, oh no, your dad comes in. The nice teleport shot as soon as he went for the execute. Gets the double execute. Your dad does go down. Terracon trying to clean up. 0-4 to 22. Looks like we have the D rocking double damage with the shoddy. Something not you don't see every day. Did get a bit of kills. Cleaned up your dad. Fumes is down. So it is going to be 6 to 22. They're coming back a little bit. And you're seeing, they have the ability to, get some kills for free.
It looks like PV Sports got a little bit cocky here. Actually overextending and just flat out getting outplayed and getting killed by the other team. Now trying to group up a little bit more than they have been previously. But the interesting thing here was that PV Esports lost a bunch of 1v1 fights. There was no big numerical advantage going into that last fight. It's just all over the map. Through smart play, the Herd came out just a little bit ahead of PV Esports. But it looks like in this enclosed space, the Dreadnoughts are now taking effect. And it looks like that this is going to be a fight that severely favors PV Esports.
That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in PvP. It's just 7 people fighting in that shipping container. You actually saw your dad use Absorption Bomb to block the exit. So we might actually be seeing that kind of like trap. You're not using Thunderdome. You can use Thunderdome, you can use your Alt Fire Shield, and you can use Absorption Bomb. And like that will block, an exit or entrance for gosh knows how many seconds. So that was actually kind of cool. You saw the Absorption Bomb, you're like, hey, guess what? You have to go out the other way. But now there's a Dreadnought there. The Assaults and Biotechs don't really have that bulk and the abilities to stop that. So that's actually kind of cool to see. End of the game, 25 to 10. Running down the scores, Ace went 9-3, playing Engineer, getting a lot of lightning gun kills. Your dad going 7-3. Tilter being more supportive. Looking at Alondar. Alondar only had 1 revive. Really? Ace Stars had 2. I guess I was imagining things. But pretty impressive to see the Dreadnought come out. That's why we were talking about earlier at the start of all the crafting stuff coming into play.
Yeah, the Dreadnought actually proving itself to be fairly viable. I mean, that trap in the shipping container was an entirely Dreadnought-based strategy. That's something that I could almost imagine seeing in a, I guess I would say a more competitive match, in a match where the teams are fighting for something like quarter or semifinals, a match that matters a lot more than this. So it does look like PV Esports were trying out something new, and by the look of it, it does seem to be something that's almost viable, and we might see later in the tournament as sort of a surprise strategy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. We're not seeing that many. We're not seeing drastic team comp changes. We're seeing, oh, our recon is not keeping up to par with their recon. We're going to play Assault. And sometimes Assault is their main frame, so that's a smart choice. We're not seeing completely different team comps. We're not seeing, 3 Assault, 2 Bio, go to 3 Recon, Dread, Bio. Like, we haven't seen any of that today. I think, one of the other teams that is more capable of doing that, Nerds and Spurgs, unfortunately could not get their 5th today, which is why they are not playing. Epsilon, who has 2 Easy, weren't able to make it today. So, that's unfortunate. We're not seeing teams capable of changing to that a drastic comp. So like what if you have 2 Dreadnoughts, right? You're dealing with the Dreadnoughts, you get in position to fight Dreadnoughts, and then suddenly they come out of spawn with 3 Recons, and 2 of your players just get picked off, right? We're not seeing that yet, but we're seeing teams feel it out and say how much can we deviate? Is this viable? What neat things can we do with it? And like we saw in the container fight, there are things that haven't been explored that I haven't seen yet, which is pretty cool.
I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow, especially with the new crafting being limitless. It opens up so many more possibilities, and I'm sure that some teams have come up with something creative, something totally new that no one has seen before. But obviously, we're probably not going to see it until the match really matters. It's fine to lose a match or 2 in the round robin. It's a lot less fine to lose a match or 2 in the semifinals of a double elimination tournament. So hopefully, we're going to see some of these more interesting things tomorrow.
Exactly, and we're going to be hopping into the extras versus PV Esports. Next, we will see PV Esports again. The extras, I think having an all right showing so far. We'll see if the warm-up matches will really get them into it. Get again people adapting to playing. Whoopsie! I'm just shooting myself in Firefall by accident. Getting used to be playing against the structured teams. So that match ID is in the Google Doc. I think you just highlighted it. Am I correct? We'll be hopping
Yes, I
in there
did.
in just 1 minute. All right. So the extras. Okay, right. The extras rocking Superior and Kabuska, the team with 2 good recons, playing against PV Esports. Should be a good match. Going to hop in now. Let me know when you're loaded, and then we'll go ahead and sync up. This will be our, I believe, final match for today, and then we'll run down the brackets. We will run down everyone's seeding into tomorrow's double elimination bracket, and then we're gonna get Hellraiser on here if possible, and just asking about how he thinks about the tournament, what's going on. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna be hopping into the start of this match very shortly.
I am ready to go.
Let's go ahead and sync up then in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. On the extras team, Kabuska, Copris, Numu, Party Size, and Superior. We did see Numu play a very aggressive and actually very effective engineer. Kabuska and Superior. Oh, Superior playing Assault. The match has started, right? We're not in warm-up?
I am not seeing a timer yet, but I'm not seeing waiting for players or warm-up either, so I believe we might be in the game already.
All right, we'll see
the other
in
team
just a little
certainly is
bit.
running a more... PV Esports certainly is running a less traditional comp as well. They're still running their 2 Dreadnoughts. It looks like they might actually be serious about running this competitively, but they do still have the Ace Stars on Engineer, so I would suspect that this might be a warm-up. We'll see in a moment when Thumes bleeds out.
There's the cute Thunderdome Absorption Bomb. Just to stay alive, it will allow his teammates to close in. Here comes Tilter with the Absorption Bomb as well. Unfortunately, the Thunderdome does get immediately focused, so he's able to get out of there. Numu, though, does get focused. It is 1-0. So I guess we're live?
Yeah, so both teams running somewhat unusual compositions here. I would actually like to see 2 recons against those 2 Dreadnoughts. 2 recons could be extremely effective against the fairly slow movement and flight of the Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, and taking a look at Kabuska taking that high ground spot once again, that's really effective. The Dreadnought shield, the alt-fire shield that absorbs 400 damage, only goes in front of them in a cone. There you see Kabuska landing a nice shot around that shield. They're really going to have to worry about that if they're not careful.
Yeah, so really the extras sort of countering this composition, but not really in the same way I would expect them to. They're also actually just straight up going in and fighting. Something I also wouldn't imagine seeing against an assault composition.
Well, here Fumes has double. Fumes has double, lays into... Oh, wow, gets picked off by Kabuska on the high ground. Was not paying attention there. Their 2 recon advantage is, Soup's playing Assault. He actually did stay as Assault, and it seems to be working out. Kabuska really playing supportive on top. 3 kills. Copris, Numu, and Soup rounding up the rest of the team. Party Size playing the healing support. And it's 7-2 in favor of the extras.
I guess really the plan for the extras was not so much to run 2 recons, but just to run one recon more than the other team. It is working out for them by the look of it. Kabuska's basically just can take whichever high ground position he wants to. Actually, PV Esports responded to the fact that they have no long-range firepower by switching one of their Dreadnoughts to Assault. Tilter is now playing Assault and is going to be looking to take out Kabuska because they have realized they can't take him out otherwise. But nevertheless, A-Stars gets completely caught out as Engineer. Your Dad gets revived, but it looks like a pickup is going to occur here, and A-Stars actually does go down, although in a safer position.
Yeah, and you saw, again, Kabuska, I believe, picked up that kill, now with 4-0, just being extremely, extremely annoying. And again, like we said before, it's not just the kill count, it's not just the damage, it's also being able to send your opponents and give your team the information on where your opposing team is. Now it looks like Superior is eating it. Where is Corp? Let's go jump over to him, getting that res off. It looks like Your Dad is making a few plays. They are rounding out the kills a bit more. 9-4, still in favor of the extras, though. That recon really, really proving to be really annoying. I mean, I'd imagine... Oh, yeah, here we go. Tilter's upset. Tilter's done. He's like, okay, I'm not having any of this. I'm going to Afterburner and kill Kabuska. Your Dad has the ability with Teleport Shot to close that gap if he wants to. Ooh, there we go. Nice use of the shield by A-Stars. Nice use of Healing Leash and Absorption Bomb. We're actually seeing a lot of really cool strategy coming out of PV Esports that, I expected to see in other matches.
Yeah, I think what happens here a little bit is that the extras have relaxed a little bit. They've seen that they're ahead, and they feel like, yes, we can do this. But at the same time, because of it, they've stopped sticking together so well, and they've played a less cautious and measured game. And PvE Esports looks like it's taking advantage of that. They're playing extremely organized, they're picking off people one by one, and they're actually closing the point gap.
Yeah, and looks like everyone's moved to fight on the high ground. Double is gone, so there's no reason to fight down on that side of the map anymore. But just talking about that skill composition, that skill combo, actually, you see, the Dreadnought using Absorption Bomb, saying, okay, I'm not going to die here. You see A-Stars putting up the shield that says, okay, now they're trapped there. And then Wall and Absorption Bomb, the Dreadnought not moving, so it's really easy to land Healing Leash, which is one of the strongest abilities in the game. Here it comes again, a nice land from Alondar. The problem with Leash is that if it breaks line of sight, it stops, and it heals 50 a second, and it channels damage into healing from each player into another. It's something that hasn't been explored just because it's so hard to use, but combining it with Absorption Bomb seems really smart.
Yeah, and Kabuska had been forced off of his perch by Tilter. He does look like he's getting back up there now. Actually, I do believe that this is in large part possible because of the crafting change. He can stick so many points into his jetpack and actually get up there onto that roof. But on the low ground, it does look like PvE Esports is getting the better of the extras a little bit. Quite a few people going down. PvE Esports generally maintaining its health using those two biotechs.
All right, let's take a look at Tilter there. He's got double. He's laying into people with the assault rifle. I mean, gosh, that's like 1,000 DPS. It's so good. I cannot tell you how good double damage assault rifle is, especially the crafted assault rifles now. Before, they weighed too much. You could not carry a good assault rifle with you unless that was your weapon of choice. It's really showcasing like the use of effective secondaries, something we haven't seen that much because classes are so defined by their primaries. Looks like Your Dad is hunting for a teleport shot, trying to maybe get up on Kabuska?
Yeah, by the look of it, PvE Esports trying to get into a position here, trying to actually just take out Kabuska. Tilter is now jetting up there to try and take him out. Kabuska really the thorn in PvE Esports' side here, just because they can't really get to him that easily, and he just deals so much damage. They can't run any flanks. They get harassed constantly, and it's really using up their biotech heals. So Tilter now getting rid of Kabuska, chasing him down, and now PvE Esports is going to be looking to make things happen again.
Wow, Kabuska is just a sly snake. He's getting away from Tilter, forcing Tilter completely out of position, and yet he picks up a grenade kill on Your Dad before he goes down. Some very nice play from Kabuska. We all thought, I think, Soup was going to be like the additional sniper that really pushed it over for the extras, but Kabuska is 6-1 and Soup is 4-6.
Yeah, PvE Esports, though, have one more biotech, I believe, unless something has changed since I last checked, but they do have one additional biotech, and that is giving them a healing and direct combat advantage. We have to remember that while this recon is doing a lot of damage and it's nice, it does take away one combat class, which I believe is one of the reasons that the extras have been losing a lot of the direct fights. Ooh. And PvE Esports has really been using that.
And now we saw Tilter with a really nice long-range midair against Your Dad getting sniped immediately from Kabuska. Nice crowd shot from the bottom. Tilter, though, running in with double. He's going to get kills. You're not going to stop Tilter with double. Unfortunately for them, Kabuska's over there, going to get picked off. Does Tilter know he's behind him? No, he doesn't. He needs to be really careful. Now he's going to be fighting 2-on-1. Nubu and Kabuska over here. Tilter trying to get as best he can. Does not get the follow-up on his missile shot. The missile shot does knock back up. You can land a free plasma if you get it right. Trying to get up. Gets the shockwave. Ooh, shockwave combo does not hit. Tilter just clean up. Gets party size over there. 16-20. PvE Esports with a 4-point lead. Got to be really careful. Let's go over to Your Dad. Does not deploy Thunderdome quick enough. Looks like Copperus is trying to get out. Juking. If he can get the revive on party size, that's going to be really important. A-Stars, though, chasing Superior. Superior going to get away. Looks like he does. The shield trying to prevent reinforcement from coming in behind him. He will heal up on that heal station, but no good. Gets a boomerang shot in there, but not good enough. 18-21. 19-21 in favor of PvE Esports right now.
The extras has to kill Tilter. Tilter is going to end this game in favor of PvE Esports unless the extras can take him out. And really, the only way they have to do that, the only way they have of doing that, is a nice combo from an assault and maybe a recon headshot. And so far, that has not happened yet. Kabuska is all the way up there, but that's better for laying down poke. It's extremely hard to consistently hit people.
A really nice afterburner missile shot. Tilter picks up that kill, makes it 24-19. Has double, just 2 more shots, will clean it up. He notes where Kabuska is, says, I'm not going to fight near there. He's going to pick off Soup unless he afterburners away, and that is going to be it. A nice game, I gotta say, from PvE Esports. playing against the Extras. The Extras, though, playing a much better game than we've seen. Looks like they really came together there at the end. 25-19, and we'll give you the brackets after the list. Let's look at the scores. Tilter, though, 13-1. Wow, really showcasing that his best class is Assault. Kabuska, though, 8-1. If you're playing Recon over Soup, you got to be a pretty good Recon, and really showcasing that these teams are not that far apart. We're seeing a lot of really close games coming out of this. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, amazing match here. 19-25, an extremely close game, especially by Firefall competitive standards. Both teams managing to do that back and forth, despite the positioning of one team occasionally having the advantage of the other. Both teams pulling back consistently and just getting themselves back into this game. Also a very exciting match because we finally got to see that Dreadnought. We saw that dynamic between the recon on the extra side, the recon-based composition, and the more biotech Dreadnought-based composition. So PvE Esports more focused on the frontal firepower, the straightforward fight, with the Extras instead focusing more on the flanks, the jukes, and trying to lay down that harass.
I think I just want to say it again. The things that we're seeing are things that I've expecting teams to just keep using. Smart Shield on Shantytown, finally we got to see used. Healing Leash actually being effective. Fantastic. Combining it with things like Absorption Bomb, blocking with Dreads using Absorption Bomb, Dreads being able to overextend with Teleport Shot, try to get a kill, and you know what? If their team is behind them, they drop Thunderdome. If Thunderdome isn't enough, they drop Absorption Bomb, and it's almost like the Dreads have that forced initialization, just because they're able to just go anywhere they want and not die. It's actually pretty cool. The next thing I think maybe teams will learn to fall back and retreat as one. So like, okay, well, if the Dreadnought's here, where is the team coming from? And then focus their priorities on that. All right, so we are now joined. That is going to be it for today. That the round robins have determined our seeding. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the brackets real quick, and then we were gonna go ahead and talk with Hellraiser. Here are the bracket results so far. You see in the bottom, actually, we had a lot of close matches. BRZ versus the Herd, 25-18. PV Esports versus the Extras, 25-19. And Hubris versus GetVex, 25-12. So we are going to have a lot more closer matches tomorrow in our double elim bracket. Make sure you come back. That's going to be at 3 p.m. EST tomorrow. That's Sunday. Sunday at noon Pacific time. Sunday at 3 p.m. EST, and whatever that is in Europe time and UDT, I have no idea. I live in America. So let's take a look at the points. We have Hubris going 6-0, no surprises there. PvE Sports going 5-1, Dark Hour going 4-2, Get Vexed a nice split 3-3, Extras 2-4, but a lot of those games were closer than that score tells you. BRZ 1-5, the Herd 0-6. So that's gonna do it on our matches for today. Gonna go ahead and toss it over to Hellraiser and Sambasti. Hellraiser, what do you think is gonna happen tomorrow in the double elim?
You never can tell. Looking at the tournament and seeing what happened, some people were cold and then they started warming up. Some people started finding combinations that were working right. We know from looking that Hubris is the most powerful team, but also, looking at the other, the matchups that we've seen and the progression that we've seen, somebody could give them a run for their money tomorrow and at least make a good matchup.
Regarding Vex events in the future, I know this is the first tournament for Firefall in 2013, and Vex is starting that off. What do you think, besides the Red 5, $1 million season, what do you think maybe the role for the community is before they get to starting that season?
We really like Firefall. We've been following it for quite some time, and we just want to help people get involved in the game. Red 5 are some of the most amazing developers, I think, because they really do play their game, and they get involved with the community. And so I think it's on us as a community to be able to do the same for them. So definitely look forward to more events that we're going to be hosting. Maybe not just tournaments like this, but some other things in the future as well.
On the Vex website, it says, people, maybe more casual, maybe more competitive. You're certainly showing your competitive side today. You think you might have some more like fun world PvE events? I know Scarth, is kind of Baneclaw guy. If you want to do a Baneclaw, if anyone here wants to do Baneclaw, you get your item, you go to Scarth, because Scarth has got the hookups. Is there anything maybe in the open world that Vex would be looking forward to or looking to do in the future?
We always try to do events like that to get the community involved and give people a chance to be able to acquire some of the things that you might not be able to acquire without that kind of organization. So as Red 5, keeps on updating their game and giving us more content, we'll be sure to be able to do events with those kinds of things as well, making sure that everybody has a chance to get involved and show off our game that we love.
Awesome. Good to hear. And remember, guys, I think that just about does it. Sam or Hellraiser, do you have any other comments for today?
This isn't completely related to what we're doing right now, but we being Limelight Esports, the other thing I'm working on, we are launching a competitive wiki in the next few days, probably the next week. So if you do like editing wikis and writing things, look forward to that. And well, basically the goal right here, the idea behind it is, now that we finally have some nice tournaments going on, we finally have something to write about. So yeah, look forward to the competitive wiki coming soon.
That there's
and
more
I'd just like
resources. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would just like to, give a couple of shout-outs and say thanks for everybody to help make this, come to reality. Today has been a really great day, and I just really want for all of your help and all the teams that showed up today as well.
Thank you. If you want to contact or reach out or post feedback to anyone, go ahead and look up the Vex tournament on the Firefall forums. I believe it is in general discussion. Post your thoughts, post your feedback, post maybe what you want to see or what you did see that you did like. I am Nero. Again, you can contact me on the Firefall forums. You can check me out on Twitter. I am at HazardVG, and my stream is VG Gaming. Go ahead, hit me up. It's pretty cool. Sam, where can they contact you at?
I don't have a personal Twitter yet. I'm getting one soon, but for now, the best way to reach me is on the Firefall forums. If you really want to tweet at me, I use the Limelight Esports Twitter account. That is Limelight Esport, because Twitter has character limits, and we're not good with character limits. So Limelight Esport on Twitter, and I'm the Zambasti on the forums and nearly everywhere else on the internet. So you can find me on the Firefall forums.
And Sam, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then how people might be able to contact you.
Sam, you mean me again?
In Hellraiser, a little bit about your self history and why you started Vex, and where people can reach you in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I've been in gaming for a long time. It's no secret. I'm an old man. I've been gaming for quite some time. I got my start really trying to do like competitive gaming on the console in Gears of War. I had some success in Gears of War, and it really kind of opened my eyes and said, wow, this is really, really cool. This is going to be something big. So I've been kind of watching it grow. And when I found Firefall, something clicked, and it said that this is the game that is going to help esports get really big in the FPS side, because League of Legends has been doing so well with the MOBAs that FPS has kind of fallen behind. And there's so many really good FPS players out there because the action in FPS games is just so fast-paced. So when I found Firefall, I knew that I wanted to do something with esports with it. And as I got to meet more people in the community and start building up, our team, I got to meet some other great people, and it just gave me the idea that, hey, let's give an avenue where we can have some competition going on, but on a level where you don't necessarily have to be hubris to be able to have fun and win, and get something,
It's I think everyone who's playing, you know, is either, even if they're losing, they're having a good time. They're playing with their friends, they're playing with people they know, and they're playing more organized. And I think, you know, if it's just a fun experience overall. I mean, like, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have been in beta over a year if Firefall wasn't fun, if I didn't believe in Red 5. You know, I think that's where a lot of the community is placing their goodwill in Red 5, and Red 5 is reciprocating that. It's pretty awesome. So, all right, guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to be our double elimination bracket. Tune in. We will have our winners. We will have our prizes. Make sure you tune back. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. And I think that is going to be doing it for today. This is Nero, the Sambasti, and Hellraiser signing off. Cheers.
Night.